Q, welcome in. What's going on? Angie Times, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. I put like a little banner up. Let me see how you do that. Co-parenting. There we go. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. It's too early. It's so early. Yeah, extra hour is gonna make a difference. Andy, welcome in. Welcome in, babe. Today should be an interesting live, to say the least. Very, very interesting. So the topic today is co-parenting. It is co-parenting. Yes, guys. It's going to be one of those. Thank you for the taps, babe. It's going to be one of those interesting ones. The interesting live. I'm excited to see where this conversation is going to go. Ink, welcome in. Chris, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. How's everybody doing today? If you are in here, please rate your mental 1 to 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Please and thank you. Gangsta Grandma, welcome in. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to get started soon. We're just going to let some more people pile up in here for a little bit. But how's everybody doing so far? Good morning, everybody that's coming in. Should be an interesting live, I promise you. A lot of information. A lot of interesting topics. It's going to be happening in 2025. We just started off strong with the co-parenting conversation. People try to avoid that conversation, but I want to do it. I want all the smoke. Should I do the background? Yeah, let's not do the background. I feel like it's going to blur. Make sure the camera's clean. Welcome in, y'all. Ooh, okay, she started a poll. So if you guys see that little clipboard up here, if you guys hit that clipboard, gives you an option to rate your mental 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. So hit that clipboard right up here. Right up here. What up, bro? Welcome in, bro. Welcome in, guys. Liz, welcome in. So topic today, bro. Morning. It's co-parenting. It's co-parenting. Hopefully you're available, Fontaine. Well, if you're available, definitely come up. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be one of those interesting ones. Coach China be in the building. I see you, bro. Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Mic check.
1 2 1 2.
Let's go.
It's gonna be an interesting conversation. It is. It's not gonna go the way you guys think it's gonna go. It's not gonna be a debate. It's not gonna be everybody arguing. Everybody's opinion is valued here. Everybody's yeah. We're gonna let people up off rip. Like we're not even gonna do the whole coaching thing. So everybody could just come up because this is gonna be one of those. Good morning, bro.
Good morning. Welcome back.
Yeah, man. Took the whole month of December off. We are back. I am back. Full effect. This conversation is obviously can't be done in one Saturday because there's just so much to dive into. So we're gonna do 2 Saturdays and then we're gonna wrap it up. We're
Well,
gonna wrap
I,
it up
I
in two
have faith.
Saturdays.
I have faith that we will be able to dig in deep.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So none of this is gonna be structured. This live today, right? Because I want it to be as organic as possible, and everybody's co-parenting situation is different, which is why I didn't want it to be structured because everybody's situation is different. Everybody's what the way it happened, the way they handled it, all of it is different, is unique. Some of them might be relatable, but not every situation is gonna be relatable. So that's why I didn't want it to be too structured. Obviously, mods are on deck, all that stuff, but we just want to be an organic conversation in regards to co-parenting. So good morning, everybody coming in. My brother's in the building. What's going on?
Co-parenting.
Yeah.
The thing that exists but doesn't exist all in the same
Same.
time.
Listen, I know it's a dangerous conversation to have, but it has to happen. Listen, this is probably gonna be just as bad as the child support one that we had.
Oh Lord.
Oh man.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
think co-parenting is just supposed to be as simple as, it's supposed to be like just a new relationship to me personally.
okay,
It's supposed to come with a bunch of new understanding and new acceptance. I think that a lot of times in co-parenting, I think that the other person forgets that, like, all right, I can only speak from my experience.
go for it.
When, because I have three kids' mothers, and
Come on,
all of
man.
my co-parenting situations are very different,
Hmm.
super different.
Right.
And but the first one, when we separated, you know, she was kind of acting oblivious to the fact that, I was living with you. When we separated, I had to leave.
Right.
Now, what I was doing for you inside of the home, I have to now do for myself to create my own home. And it was kind of
Mm,
like she never would understand that. Like, oh, you need to get your kids, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's like, yes, I understand that. Yes, I am. But I also need you to understand and accept the fact that now I'm in a way worse position than you are. You have the home, the rooms, the beds, the everything. Hey, I'm bumming it right now until I get my
right.
place, until I get my own thing.
Hmm.
And it's like, I guess somewhere along the lines, I don't know, it never stopped.
Right.
Cause I look, man. Cause I think I told you, bro. I just won custody of my oldest son, and I'm still fighting for custody of my second son.
Proud of you, bro. I know it's not. I
And
know that's not easy.
what, bro? My oldest is 16, about to be 17,
Hmm.
and me and their mother can't co-parent because there was a lot of manipulation.
Hmm.
There was a lot of conversations where you will think that, okay, yeah, we're getting past things. You know, um, we were have conversations about our past and the reason why she put me on child support and things like that. So you think you're getting somewhere,
Right.
And then you realize, like, nah, you just tried to dupe me again
You
because of
heard
your
what's
own
going
life
on?
situation,
Mm.
because of your own stuff. You feel me? So, and I'm only saying this because the co-parent was crazy because when I went to, basically get the paperwork in place,
Mm.
because she didn't want to do it because she had finally realized, like, oh shit, if I lose my oldest son to his father, now the money that I'm receiving is going to change. Now he has the possibility of placing me on child support now. And
Right.
then she started cutting up, like, to a point, bro, and I don't want to
No,
go into all
that's
the
fine.
details and shit, but to a point where she filed a order of protection against me, and I haven't spoken to the woman in 3 years, haven't seen her in 3 years, like, would drop my kids off and they would just get out the car and walk in because they have their own keys. And went to court, ended up going to court. She put out a order of protection against me, which was strange. I didn't even understand that for anything. But then when we finally went to court, of course, it's she gets to speak, she has to basically, double down on all of the incidents that she claims that I was being violent towards her and things like that. And along somewhere in the whole court situation where we're speaking about it, this lady tells the judge that she feels like she needs an order of protection against me because she doesn't want to be another cold case. And I'm like, what the fuck? A cold case? Lady, you've been dropping my kids off at the front, at the house for the past 3 years with no interaction from me. We don't speak, we don't talk, nor am I the type of co-parent that pops up, do all the raggedy, crazy things that they expect most men to do. I don't do those things.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm just looking at her like, a cold case? Like, are you for real? Like,
Just being
I
over
don't.
dramatic.
Bro, crazy,
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Like, and we can't even operate. We can't
Mm.
conversate. Like, even when we were there, she was asking me, do I hate her? Does her presence make me infuriated? And I'm like, no, I don't think of you. I don't care for you like that. Like, you're just their mother.
She was trying to set you up.
Bro, when I tell you,
She was trying to
when I,
set you up.
when I
She was trying
tell
to set
you,
you up.
like, brought up, like, don't get me wrong, me and my first kid's mother, our relationship was very domestic. We were very violent towards each other. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm.
And when I tell you, the lady was bringing up all of my cases that I had that worked with her, about her, the things I went through, and I'm just sitting there like, this is about the kids. What are we doing?
Right.
What are we talking about? And like I said, like, just to say, like, bro, sometimes some people are just like, I understand why some men sit back and say, hey, I'm just gonna wait till the child is 18. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because and don't get me wrong, I don't condone it. You feel me?
Right.
Like, I always push. Like, I keep pushing. Like, even now, I haven't seen my second son in almost like 7 months. Now
Right.
that goes against the violation of all the parenting agreements we done placed out here and did everything, you feel me? But I'm still trying, I'm still pushing, I'm still, doing what I need to do.
Right.
But co-parenting with that one doesn't exist at all. It doesn't exist at all. Now I have a second one. Our co-parenting skills are incredible.
Coming in hot.
Like,
This
what? Like,
conversation's coming in hot. Like,
it's not even it's not even bad. We,
right.
hey, look, I'm gonna call you ahead of time, let you know the things that I need from you. Hey, we got a schedule for the kids to come over. If there's any programs or anything going on, I'm gonna attach your email to it so that way you get the emails, everything. So we operate pretty okay when it comes down to co-parenting. You feel me? It's not
Right.
no push and pull. It's not she's bigger than me or I'm bigger than her. It's really just peaceful. You know what I mean? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
interrupting her life. Like, we can even sit down and have conversations on the phone for hours and, talk about the kids and maybe,
But that's the
talk about our
goal.
personal life, you know what I mean? Because we're
That's the
now in new
goal.
stages in our lives. So it's like we don't have any issues whatsoever. We don't argue, we don't fight, we don't do anything.
Mm.
But it's like, and then now I have a third one. And it's similar to the first one. It's just not as, I would say, ignorant. It's more of, person being used to what I was bringing, and then the fact that I removed that, they're upset at that. So it's like they use the kids as pawns to get me to do the things that they're familiar with me doing. And it's like I can't do those things for you anymore because I'm not your man. You have a man now. You have, find you someone else that can step in and do those things. Now for the children, I'm
Right.
gonna keep doing the same thing. And when I tell you, like, to hear a person scoff at you because you're doing something for your children is the craziest shit in the world. Like in the moment where your child is the most excited because dad just did something and you just hear, oh, that ain't nothing. Like what?
Cause you couldn't do it yourself. Like, so
What?
we talk about that a lot, right? So the one of the things I've been big on in regards to that is the pettiness, right? From the other parent. The pettiness of the other parent. When you're doing for your kids and you're doing what you're supposed to do and they can't do what you just did, there's an attitude behind it.
Yeah,
Like the scoffing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like all that. Like they couldn't do it, but you did it. The kids are
yeah.
excited because it got done and they got what they
Well,
needed. But
I've been
now,
down bad, bro. Like I've
right.
been down bad. You feel me? And for it when it's my kids, for my kids, just as a father, when it comes down to your kids, it don't matter what you got to do. It don't
Hands
matter if you
down.
got to if you got to sell everything in your house just to make sure they keep a smile on their face. You would. And to run into a situation where you scraped all this stuff up, but you were able to get what your child wanted, and
Hmm.
then you give it to them, and the excitement that for the gift that you give them is better than the mom's, and then you hear like, "Oh, I guess you won this time." Like, won what? What did I
It's
win? I
not a
didn't win
competition.
shit. I didn't win anything. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, I guess you got the best gift for the birthday. I didn't get the best gift. I got the gift you wanted. Like, what did you like? And you start noticing, like, oh, this is what it's about. Oh, this is a competition. This is a competition of images. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like you're trying to display an image that I'm not even placing on you. I'm not saying you're a bad mom. I'm not saying you don't do great things. Like, and for me as a man, I've told all of my children's mothers, like, hey, it- having children every day is not an easy job. So I commend you. Hey, the reason why I'm telling you to operate with me a certain particular way is so that way I can be efficient. I don't be a problem for you. I don't when you come to me and it's not like, oh, can you do this? And I say no. Now you have to deal with that on your own. And maybe you were in a position where you can't do it. And that's the reason why you asked me. So it's
Right.
like you come with all this order and structure and discipline. And it's like sometimes people are like, nah, I'm not used to that. And nor do I want that. I want somebody to just get up, roll over, jump, do things when I say it. And it's like,
Mm.
no, it
Let
don't go like that. Because as a
let's
man,
stop right there. Let's stop right there real quick. Let's stop right there real quick. You said the discipline part.
yeah.
That part right there is huge, right? Because for me, my situation, when I realized that both of us did the work, right? And we were able to have an actual conversation about our kids and about
Mhm.
ourselves. And like obviously us being together for 6 years and not ever talking about why we broke up. Never talked about it. Right? We just went our separate ways. And then did the whole co-parenting thing, right? I took my kids. She didn't have a place to stay, so I took my kids, whatever the case may be. I had my kids, and the agreement was when you are in a steady place, right? You can have the
Mhm.
kids. I'm not gonna keep the kids from you because the kids do need their mother. You know what I'm saying? So once that's that, then boom, that's yours. She did that. She got on her feet. I gave her the kids. But I wasn't about my have my kids house hopping, couch hopping
Yeah.
from place to place where I had a steady place to stay and so did they. They had their own room, they had everything, right? So
Hmm.
I made sure that we had that there. And I was working two full-time jobs and going to school and taking them to the bus and picking them off the bus. You know what I'm saying? I was doing all of it. I didn't ask her for help
Hmm.
because I knew her position, right? So I'm
Hmm.
not gonna put her in a position to try to come out of pocket when I know I can handle it.
Facts. Yeah.
And I handled it. And then when
Yeah.
she got back right, I gave her the kids. It's
Yeah.
that
That's the
simple.
right way. Yeah. The
You
right
know what
way.
I'm saying?
Because it's not about our relationship anymore.
Right.
because our relationship probably came with petty arguments or came with things that we were trying to learn about each other, which caused the relationship to end. But if we have these children, there's something better for us to focus on. We don't have to argue about this because it's not about us, it's about the child. Okay,
Right.
what do you see the child, like my biggest thing about co-parenting, bro, is for me is that when once I see something good or bad in the child and I try to express it to the mother for them to either, say, hey man, maybe you need to just do this with them because I do this at home and they don't act like that. Or hey, you know what, they're doing great in this. Hey, I do this with them. Maybe you should do it too. Not to say that you have to, but hey, maybe
Right.
you should.
It's just a
And it's
suggestion.
and it's like the worst, like you didn't shot old Yeller. Like, oh, I don't want to hear that shit. Oh, who you don't tell me what to do in my house. And it's like I'm not telling you what to do
So
in this
there's a
house. I'm
different
telling you what to do with the child.
that so in regards to that, right? I can understand that, right? Because with my kids and Terry is here, Sweetie in the chat, she could tell you when my kids are here, they straight. Like they don't act up, they don't do none of that, right? They're just chilling. They'll chill, they'll be relaxed, they'll be cool, calm, and collected. And even in the
Right,
moment, we'll ask them, "Do you want to go home or do you want to come here?" They'll be like, "I want to come
right,
here." But
right,
that was
right.
before, they were in a better living situation, right? Because they were in a
Mm-hmm.
situation where they didn't feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Every too many people living in the house type of thing, right? So when they finally moved, you know what I'm saying? I even asked the kids after they moved, like, do you guys like where you guys are living right now? They was like, I love it. It's so quiet. It's so peaceful. We have our own space. It's just me, mom, Jamie with your stepdad, you know what I'm saying? And we're good. Like, we're not worried about anybody else popping into the house or somebody coming to live with us, that type of situation.
Right, yeah.
A lot of people don't realize every co-parenting situation is different, but you need to be mindful of what the other person's dealing with because their life
That's
could be chaos
and
and
you know what,
you don't even
that
realize it.
man, bro. And I'm only talking because I go through this shit every day. But I believe that that is the hardest part. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? To observe that, wait a minute, things are now different. To observe that it may be a harder struggle on either party if the situations are different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said, if I leave a relationship with a woman that I'm in the house with, that this is her place, and I leave, now I have to start from the bottom.
Hmm.
So what I was able to do inside of the home is not something I'm going to be able to do anymore until I get my own home. You know what I mean? And
Right.
sometimes people, you know, it just seems like they purposely don't want to. I don't even know. I don't even want to say this, but sometimes I feel like when it comes down to co-parenting, bro, when you co-parenting, whether it's with a man or with a woman, you got to realize sometimes those people don't want those kids. They're arguing with you, they're fussing and fighting with you because they don't want to deal with the responsibility of the children that come with children. They just
Hmm.
want all of the gratification. They just want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen it, bro, where you could tell somebody like, heck, like when I tell you I've came with full blown plans to help out, like, look, hey, I'll pay for the daycare or the after school. I'll pay for this. Hey, look, all I need you to do is go and drop the money off. That's it. And I'll
Yeah.
send it to you, and then it's like, oh, I had so much going on. But how did you have so much going on when you called me screaming in the phone, acting like this was such a critical thing? And now that I fixed it, it's like,
Hey,
oh,
John.
I didn't,
Top of the
I
morning.
just wanted somebody to come and help me fix something, but I really don't want it fixed. Or it's like, oh, I want to be at all the graduations and everything else, but I don't want to chip in and do nothing. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel with most of
Hmm.
these co-parenting situations. I just feel like sometimes I think co-parenting is only for the people who understand that, hey, we're parents, not in a relationship anymore. We're not together. This is not about us, not about our past. It ain't about our sexual
There's a
experience with
level
each
of
other.
maturity. There's a level of
Oh,
maturity that has to come with co-parenting. But also too, this is the part that's missed out that most people don't want to really speak about, right? When you go to the situation where you break up,
Hmm.
where it's no longer a thing. You guys are no longer a thing. You're not just popping in to sleep with each other or things of that nature. Like you're not together at all, right? You have to go through your process of healing. I'm sorry. You got to go through the process of healing because that level of resentment is a major issue when it comes to co-parenting because a lot of people will hold on to the things that made their relationship fall short, made their relationship go bad. They're not even worried about the kids when they're thinking about that shit. They're only thinking about themselves.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Speak about that, Hormiga, in regards to that level of resentment.
It's a grudge. It's because things didn't go the way that they envisioned it. Because we all paint a pretty picture in our head, and the moment that the reality of life doesn't go in that direction, you start becoming rebellious. You start pointing fingers. You start asking your questions why, and that's when people run away from accountability and the role that they play to the demise of that situation. And it's easier to just point fingers and blame the world for everything that's going around. You're not in the right mind to take responsibility or accountability anyway. We had a long conversation last night about emotional regulation.
Right.
The hardest time to regulate your emotions is when your emotions are at full throttle. So certain steps that you have to take to chill out, to calm down, and this is not one of them. This is one of the hardest transitions, not just for you, the other person, but the kids, man. You know, we tend to put more emphasis on what we're going through than the destruction of what the kids are going through. You know what I'm saying?
That
So
is a
yes,
fact.
I'm in accordance to what everybody is saying. This has become the new norm. Remember, we started with the extended family, and then it went into the nuclear family, and then it went into the single parent family. What's next? Kids are going to grow up without parents?
So my thing is, right, I spoke about this yesterday, like a little briefly on the live yesterday, and my biggest thing, right, and this is for all parents, for the parents that think, well, while you were in a relationship with that situation, with that person, right, for you guys to think that your children don't hear everything that's going on in the house
Yeah.
They do.
is
They definitely do.
wild.
Uh,
I've had my children tell me like, Dad, we kind of understand why you're upset because my children know like ignorant things like just irritate my soul, and they like, oh, okay, but they definitely know. They definitely know and hear.
Let me share something with y'all. If you happen to have a boy and a girl similar in age,
Hmm.
and you argue in the other room, do you know what those kids are doing in the other room? They are mocking and
Facts.
playing the role and actually dictating what you're going to say next in the other room. And if you think they don't hear you, you tripping. Unless you have a studio or one of those soundproof rooms, unless you have one of those old school apartments where there's 15 layers of lead paint, well, that's
Right.
another topic.
No, no, no. Hey, the fact that you said that is crazy because I remember my daughter telling me that her and my oldest son, when her mom lived with me and shit, that she was telling me like, yeah, sometimes we be in the back just mocking y'all, just woo, and that, and I'm like, damn, you know what? Hey, I gotta change that, you know.
Yeah.
And it was something that somebody told me to what you just said is that sometimes people become the worst co-parents because you killed the dream that they had by
Ooh.
not staying with them and dealing with their shit. And sometimes and it's so crazy that I even took that and applied it to my mother and my father, and I'm like, holy shit. My mother chose to be a certain particular type of way because she thought my father was supposed to stay with her through all that bullshit. That
Yeah.
that people don't have limits. Like, and the crazy part is that you can never know a person's limit. Never. My
No.
father stayed for like 10 years, but after that 10 year, it was like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. I'm not doing this anymore. You
No
know what I mean?
facts.
So I definitely like, man, and just when she said it to me, I'm like, that's wild. So I'm dealing with something because somebody is still stuck in delusional
Hey,
land.
twin. Good morning.
good morning, motherfucker. Hey, listen, I want to tell y'all all three something, okay? All three of y'all embody my spirit animal. Yeah, I said it out loud. Okay, all three of y'all. I've been in the situation for co-parent, and I said in the comment section, co-parenting is probably one of the most triggering topics to me right now because I'm actively walking through it.
Right.
And ain't nothing worse than having to negotiate with a terrorist.
No,
And
true
when
Oh
I
yeah.
say
facts.
and
True
when I say
facts.
and when I say terrorism, y'all have to understand I'm talking about emotional. My
Oh yeah.
children are being used against me. Y'all hear me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Against me. There's no way in the world you can get put on child support and the same day that you get served, get a phone call from the person putting you on child support asking you for help. There's no way. There's no way.
Well,
There's no
welcome
way.
to the club, brother.
Yeah, you
Welcome
see
to
what I'm
the
saying?
Facts.
So
club,
you
brother.
hear me, right? So
Welcome to the
when
club, brother.
all of the hard work that I've done and bro, I know you saying y'all separated and
I done
didn't
had somebody
communicate.
get a child support check for me and then call me and say, "You don't do shit for your kid. You don't buy them
Yeah, but hold
anything."
up, but hold on, hold on, but hold on. She waited to get the check first before she said that,
See
right?
when she said something. Yep.
Facts. Yep. Of course.
Is the
Of
check in the
course.
mail? Is the check in the? Oh wait, I got the mail. I got the check.
It's
You
why
ain't
Or
shit.
or
before I
or
got put
get the
on child
check,
support before I got put
call
on child
you.
support, I was actually giving her bread and she was telling me it wasn't necessary to then turn around and find out now I got my
Oh, that's the
kids
okie
more.
doke.
Yeah, I got my kids more, and you telling me, oh no, now I need financial support from you. I'm gonna go ahead and put you on child support. But look, can you still come over here and do say X, Y, and Z for me? Da, da, da. What? Girl, all of that shit is done. That shit is over with. You put
Well,
that away when you decide to go downtown and sign the paperwork that said they
that's
wanted
the
to come
oh
and get my ass
So
and take me
before
to
we
jail if I don't
continue,
pay for it.
before we
You know?
continue, before we continue, I know this topic is triggering, right? This is the reason why I picked this topic because people are avoiding this topic for some odd reason. Nobody want to have this conversation. So, hello, hi, how you
Is
guys
it is
doing?
it is it because they're looking to blame something?
It's easier to put the blame
no,
on
that's not
somebody
what it
else
is,
except
bro. That's
self.
not what that's not what it is. Talking about co-parenting is triggering because the people who are looking to understand it are the people who are dealing with the people who are fucking them over. So when you're a man saying that a woman is fucking you over, and then you're happen to be a woman listening to men saying a woman's fucking me over in co-parenting, but you're the woman being fucked over by a man in co-parenting, it makes it kind of fucked up to understand it. You know what I mean? Because we can't relate to men who don't take care of their kids, so or help or do. And it's like, of course, it's like, I'm not getting any answers, but it's like you are getting answers. You just gotta listen.
So real quick, right? Because I see a comment I see that comment, and I'm here for it. So y'all feel like because you're paying money, that's enough? Hold on, wait a minute. Where is it? Because
Boy,
y'all
I'm
feel
about
like
to
because
go
y'all
in.
paying is enough.
I'm about to do it. I'm about
Hold
to
on.
do it.
Time, time, and first
Wait,
of
wait, wait,
all,
wait, 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 wait. We not gonna jumping on her throat. Okay, she just got in
mm-mm.
here. She probably just heard a bit of it, and she ran with that comment. She probably wasn't here from the beginning. So just to give you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just to give you a understanding, right, of the topic at hand. All of us here are full time parents. All of us here are engaged fathers,
Okay.
100%.
I'm doing
It's
time and a half.
right? And you're doing time and a half. So, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not us here bashing women or attacking women or nothing like that. This is us. This is actual fathers that do for their kids that are going through these things, right? And there's women that are going through these things that are in the comments. Pompon, she said that it was triggering for her. So just be mindful that this is a effective. This is a good conversation. We're just here to bring light to this topic because for some reason, all of TikTok, I haven't heard this conversation happen yet.
Yeah,
So,
one quick thing.
yeah,
We hold each other accountable here. We do not have the conversation about money too much because money is a given.
yeah,
That's not even a conversation because
right. You never know what people's
it's
situation is.
it's do your
Hey,
part,
hey, sis,
money wise,
My bad.
you
and
good?
that has to be there regardless. It's not always there, but that's not something that we question. Yes, Kids need financial support.
Most definitely.
I can name 10 things
Well,
that are
see,
more important than the
Let me
financial
get some
support.
lighting in here. Hold on.
right.
Can I
No,
have a
but
crack
this,
at this real quick? Let me get a crack at this, right? I love hearing that and seeing that comment, but I will honestly tell you that most of the times when you're dealing with somebody petty, the first thing that they do is attack your finances. So money isn't the thing that kids need the most of to take care of them. But you'll settle for that money
well, I
to
don't
sit
think.
down and
I
be
think that's the.
quiet.
I think that's the last, bro. I think that's last. I
No,
think the first
in
thing is
my
trying to
case,
get you to.
in my case, you would rather have the money than me be in the children's life. You would rather have the money than have to worry about figuring out how they're gonna get spend time with me. That's where the issue comes in because we would like to think that you want me to be an active participant as a father in my children's life, right? When I step up and I'm doing that, I'm either looked at as vindictive, controlling, or both in one. So you would
No,
rather
no,
just
that's not.
dismiss me and bring the
But like
money
you
in
said,
to keep it that way.
bro, you were breaking. You like because I was doing that as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
doing without before child support and all that stuff. I was just doing. The
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
problem and the reason why you get put on child support is because you're able to do with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
They because what we fail to
Hey, Leaf,
realize
welcome
in
in. Good morning.
co-parenting is that is that we both lose out on each other. Hey, you lose out on what she was bringing, and she loses out on what you were bringing. The problem is that what everybody keeps trying to fail to realize, and it's not to dismiss mamas and mothers and what they have to deal with, because Lord knows dealing with kids 24/7 is
Ain't no
not the
joke.
easiest fucking job in the world.
It's
Ain't
not.
no
It's
joke.
not. So of course, they got they're women. They ain't of course they're just emotionally everywhere. You feel me? But it's the structure, the order, and the discipline that they what I'm saying they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, even without co-parents, let's not even talk about kids. Like even in a relationship, order, structure, and discipline they don't want from a man. But when you separate with them and kids, they not understanding that that is what you have instilled in that whole entire situation.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have to instill that. Now they have to put the order, the structure, and the discipline. And that shit takes a lot of time. You ever
But
seen a
fine.
toddler run around from a mama trying to get them ready for school versus a daddy?
It's not fun.
Total different vibe. It's a total
It's a
different
totally
ball
different
game.
game because we don't play
It
that.
is.
Oh,
But
you see
fine.
what I'm
I
saying?
wanna
So
I wanted to bring it
so
back for a
to
second when
hurt you,
you talked about feelings, right? I'm gonna tell you this right now.
yeah.
When me and my ex separated, that was the most emotional time I've ever had in my life. So I want to
I
try
remember
and
that moment.
delete the emotional moments that we try to put on women and say that men don't have those same things because I was a complete wreck,
I was
which
a wreck.
led me to my co when
Having
I went
have having
which led
emotions,
me to
having
my
emotions
co-work.
is
Huh?
yeah, having
Let's
emotions
try
is
not to
not
talk over each other though. So just
my
so
bad, bro.
yeah, yeah, good. Go
No,
ahead.
what I'm saying
Not
is that moment it put me in a place where my logic was shaky
Mm.
because my emotions were everywhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? So in that moment,
I
no, I
got you
didn't
after
make
pom
all of the
pom.
greatest. I didn't make all of the greatest decisions and make all of the greatest choices because emotionally I was everywhere with it. But I knew at the end of the
hmm
day, I loved my kids. I wanted to be around my children. I wanted to be there for my kids. It wasn't just about finances, and I think that's the issue that I come up on with co-parenting in general. Because as soon as you hear co-parenting, the first thing that most people think about is
It's
child
money.
support.
Yeah.
They think about child
hmm
support, and
Yeah,
that's not the biggest thing for co-parenting. Hey, how do me and you coexist well enough to be able to raise these two children to become active members, successful members of society? That is
Mm-hmm.
what I
facts.
see when I think of co-parenting. Not, oh wow, you see your kids 3 4 times a week. You need to give me XYZ amount of money because I don't make it. No, that's a part of being able to
But you
take care of
can't.
children,
But
but that's not the whole thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but we can't forget that women operate out of an emotional space where we operate out of a logical one. Not to dismiss your emotions or emotions of a man, but still, like you said, you were emotional, and then you jump right back into your logical bag. They're always in their emotional bag. Sometimes they may be logical about certain particular things, but like bro said, that's maturity.
Mm-hmm.
That's that they have to be mature enough to do that. And if you end up dealing with people who are
What's
making
good, Derek?
excuses or trying to act like, oh, you have to do more as if you're not doing the exact same thing that you've always done, just because the situation is different, those are the people that you know are going to be over emotional. And I say that for men and women alike. Like, I've seen it. Like, I've seen somebody act like, oh man, I can't do all of that. But then the next thing you know, they out spending money,
Right.
having a good time. But somebody just said, hey, your child needed this or your child needed that. So it's like, I don't know, man. I think co-parenting is screwed up all around the board because there's not enough spotlight on the good mothers that really
Mm-hmm.
bust their ass and do what they need to do and give them a
Facts.
voice to be able to a logical and an emotional voice to be able to express their difficulties. And the same thing for fathers. I
Right.
think that's just what it is. Like, good people do not have the spotlight, so they everything is always negative. Everything is
So,
always,
Really quickly, really
and this
quickly,
is why we're here.
really quickly. Create. I want to create a true essence of something. More does not always equate to better. So when somebody
that
says
is
do
that is a fact.
more, you could be doing worse of a bad seed that's already growing in the wrong direction. So understand that when you ask people to do more, you're asking to do less or more of what they're doing less. Be careful what you ask for. So when you ask someone do better, it's a better scenario than to ask them to do more because they could just probably be giving you what they can, and they're probably giving you more of nothing.
No, facts. Absolutely. So I'm gonna give it to Pom Pom real quick because I need to hear the woman's perspective. It's necessary. Go for it, Pom Pom.
So my situation is I didn't I didn't put him on child support. He put himself on child support.
Bingo.
Took me to court.
Ooh,
He served me on the day my brother passed. Like it was crazy how he did it. And
Wow.
damn.
well, actually, it was my brother's birthday. And so we went to court. He he had his arguments, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I made more money than him, and because of that, they granted him to only pay me $60 a month for my son. Okay,
Right.
we were together for 7 years. I love that man, like, and I don't put my shit out there. I don't like. I'm a very private person when it comes to my personal life. So what
Right.
you see on TikTok is just for entertainment. You know what I mean? Like I honestly don't. You guys know I don't talk much,
I know. I know.
but
Mm-hmm.
like it triggers me because I try to co-parent with my son's father. I tried really really hard, but no matter what, he kept turning the table and making it about us. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
then he would call me a gold digger, and I'm like, I'm not the one that took you to court. I don't even want your money. I just want you to be a part of my son's life. Like I want you to be there for him because I can't teach him. I can I can teach him how to be a gentleman, but I can't teach him how to be a man. You know,
Right.
and I feel like I'm sorry, like this is really emotional for me because like I feel like my son got like stripped of having that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, with his father because his dad is so inconsistent. There'll be months where he'll pay his child support, right? And he'll come pick him up and he'll come, do all this and then he'll go on for months not paying anything, which I don't want his money. I'm going to repeat that again, okay? I just want him to be there for his son.
And that be the thing too, right? Because I can relate, right? I put myself on child support. I didn't. She didn't put me on child support because my ideology was if I don't have the money to give, they'll be able to take it regardless, right? And my kids will be good. That was my ideology of it, right?
Mhm.
Mm.
And this past year in November, right, I had my first child support hearing in like God knows how long, right? And they weren't even worried about the fucking kids. They just wanted the government's money. They wasn't worried about if the kids were straight, if the kids were good. I'm telling them that I'm giving him way more than what my child support thing is even telling me to give, right? I'm giving them way more. I'm paying for way more. Sweet Tea could tell you, my kid's mom, if she was in here, she'll tell you, I give way more. I pay way more than what child support wants me to pay a month. It's wild. So when I went to the hearing, They didn't even care about the fact that I was doing for my kids. They was wanting to know why I stopped paying that $70 out of my check. That's what they wanted to know. It had nothing to do with the kids. Nothing. Had nothing to do with the kids
Hey,
whatsoever.
honey, by the way, we appreciate you for coming in and sharing. It's
Absolutely.
something, and I've known you for over a year now, and that's something new to me. And
Yeah.
hey, look, you got all the
Transparency is
respect
key.
from me. You know what I'm saying? So I
Absolutely.
appreciate you for sharing. And I want you to understand this, right? He gonna get his. And when I say that, I
Mm-hmm.
don't mean that in a negative way. When your son gets to an age where he understands the ins and outs of being an adult or a growing young man, and he
Mm-hmm.
realizes that he looks to his left and his right, and there are young men that are growing up that have fathers that his father chose. That's what I want people to understand. He chose, or he is choosing to actively not be a part. That's when he'll get his opportunity to go, you know what? This is what me and my dad are going to have to deal with. His father's going to have to deal with that if he chooses to. But
Right.
that's something that you can no longer do anything about. You're doing a fantastic job. You hear me? You're doing a good job. You're raising your son to be a gentleman. That's the best you can do. Then you do that.
I got you,
Ron
babe.
just said that. He just said, at the end of the day, there's not a lot of mothers out here that get credit for busting their ass. Like you're doing your thing. We see you, sis, and we love you for it. We appreciate you for being a good mother to your son, or you're a good mother to all your kids. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We see that and we respect that. I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
Appreciate you, Darrell. Go ahead,
hello,
honey.
y'all.
Hello.
I don't know your personal situation, but I can tell you that that's facts. Like by the time it comes to the point where they can't wipe their own ass, or they're gonna try to figure out who can be there for me when I can't do anything for myself, they're gonna look towards their kids. Their kids are not gonna want anything to do with them because they saw what mama had to go through. And
Absolutely.
also, I don't agree with everything that you said. I can tell you that they don't get away with none of this. They really don't. They can have fun all they want to all these years, and it may seem like nobody's on your side. And that very well may be the case, but I can truly tell you, by the time they get older, they don't have nobody else for themselves. They gonna look for them kids,
Right.
and nobody's gonna be there for them.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Go
because
ahead,
most
sweet.
men.
Real
Oh
quick
my bad.
before we do. Sweet
Yeah,
tea, go real quick. Go ahead.
The thing that I want to really put a put into the air is regardless of what goes on between the two parents, if it is exposed, the children are going to consume it. We all know that kids are literally sponges. From the minute that they pop out the womb, they are sponges. They take everything in. So they are exposed, they're going to consume it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I tell people all the time, don't sit there and rag on the other parent, because you know what? Like Vanity just said, they are going to pull in absolutely everything that that parent says and does, and they're going to make their own ideas and assumptions about that parent based on what happens.
Right.
Yes, they are still going to be fed lies. Yes, they are still going to be fed narratives that probably aren't exactly all the way true or
It's
all
gonna
the
be true, say
way.
Fontaine.
They're going to be fed narratives that are not all the way true, but eventually everything done in the dark comes to the light.
Right.
And I was going to say, with the parents that are being put on child support or whatever the case may be, there's a lot of foundation issues when it comes to that stuff. When I say foundation issues, is if they are coming to you and they're saying, oh, just because you gave me child support, da 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 da, and you see them spending their money, you know what that means? They're spending their money on things that don't have anything to do with the child. That's a foundation issue. They have poor money management skills. which means they are not taking care of the children with the money they are given to take care of the children.
Okay, may I say something?
Go for it.
Who was it that was giving their story about their children's father?
Honey Pon Pon.
Honey,
Mm-hmm.
I want to apologize. I want to say that I heard you tearing up a few minutes ago, and I rolled my eyes for a second, but that's only because my situation with my children's father was a little different. But hearing who is this? Hearing Sweetie, I'm guessing is the
Mm-hmm.
name.
Yeah, sweet tea. Yep.
Sweet Tea. Hearing Sweet Tea talk. It sounds like my mother's situation. My mother, no, my mother used my father. Um, it was a situation where I didn't find out until I was a full grown adult that my father was actually fighting for us and doing things for us. And I saw that through letters.
Mm-hmm.
Electronics wasn't really a thing in my day.
Right.
I saw a shoebox of letters. Hey, where are y'all? You know, can I come see my kids? Can I come see you? What are we gonna do about the divorce? I saw letters
Mm-hmm.
that was delivered to a PO box, and when me and my brother would ask about, hey, where's dad? Because we grew up with our dad
Mm-hmm.
when we were younger. We knew who he was, and we would ask about him, and my mom would just be like, oh, um, he know where we at. If he wanted to see y'all, he would be here. If he wanted
Right.
to see y'all, he would be here. And anyway, that's what I had to go through growing up. And as a full grown adult, my dad passed last year,
Mm-hmm. My
and it was
condolences.
very hard to have a conversation with him, only because my mom threw it in my face for so many years that he did not want anything to do with us. Even though I saw the letters, but I was a child,
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't making sense of everything. Probably like I'm not making sense to y'all now, but it's so complicated when it don't have to be. It does not have to be.
Absolutely. We
Look,
make it. We make it like that.
But
The
I
getting
parents.
back
still
to
think that
where I
we
was,
can, for
it's
him
kind of,
to like, if he wants to contact his son, he can contact his son. If he wants to come see his son, I still let him,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But it's just he hasn't been consistent with my son, and
Right.
I don't know how
My
to.
my son's dad was not very consistent either. And my son's dad would look at me and say, oh V, I don't have the money to help get him things for school this year. My son's 14 now, but I'm talking about things that happened like 10 years ago, a decade ago.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you get things for school this year. Things were hard for me. But then I would see him on social media at the strip club, with the picture man. Y'all remember that way back when,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where they used to take pictures of the club? I would
Not the
see that.
picture man, Vanity. Not the picture
Listen,
man.
hey, y'all don't act like y'all don't know.
I know what you're talking about. I just
Way
can't
back
believe you
when
said
with
it.
the put, what I'm saying, with the background, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
I would
yeah, yeah.
see I would see these
The
things.
picture man.
I would
The
see
picture
these
man.
things on Facebook. This was when Facebook was just aired out for regular people, because if y'all remember, Facebook was only you could only have access to Facebook when it was created if you were a college student.
Right.
Yep.
Y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If you miss notes in class, that's what it was for
Right.
way back when. But anyway, Facebook was open at this point about a decade ago. He's 14 now. I said before, but anyway, um, I saw pictures uploaded on Facebook with him at the strip club, and I'm like, ain't no fucking way. You had to pay money to get in there. You coming from Alabama? First off, that's like a 45-minute drive to where I am in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You got a little bit of money. You got something. You in a strip club, you throwing them ones. And you crying that you call me before school start, talking about, oh, I just ain't got it. But you know what I did? I ignored it. I didn't bitch at him. I didn't tell him, oh, I saw them pictures at Lucas. I saw them pictures with the cameraman. I did not do none of that. Anytime he called for his kid, or he want to spend time with his kid, or he want to pick him up for the weekend, or take him out for a drive, as hard as it was for me, I did not say nothing.
Mm.
I let him go because of what y'all just said.
It gets
He
it's a
he
lot, man.
he gonna become an adult, and he gonna say, my mama never gave me a hard time, and then he gonna also be that same adult to be like, my daddy didn't help my mama at all. And although my mama knew that, she still did what she needed to do. And she
Mm.
didn't throw my dad under the bus or whatever the case may be. So this is why, like, all these years, and I still ain't witnessed it. My son, oh my God, y'all, I'm the bad guy as far as my son goes. But I guarantee y'all, it's gonna come a time where my son sees everything that I've done, and no matter what my son's dad did to me, I still never gave his dad a hard time or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry. I don't know who the hell.
I speak on this only because of the fact that I am the product of a second marriage, and I'm an adult. I have three older siblings who, at their ages of 40 plus, still have quote unquote daddy issues because of the experience that they were fed as children. Now they are much older than me.
And I'm so
When it comes to at least 10 years. So I know what my father did as a father and tried to provide for those children. I know what their mother filled their heads with. And I can tell you as adults, they still do not understand. But I'm not going to discount their experience because it was what they were consuming and what they were exposed to
Mm-hmm.
that turned them into the adults that they are. So I'm not going to discount their experience, but at the same time, I'm telling everyone that has the small children now, don't let the bitterness be the result that comes out on the end.
I will second that.
And
Absolutely.
I'm saying with all due respect, I understand it's not always the easiest for you to always present the most mature response when it comes to certain things in that relationship. But when you realize that those children will see the truth eventually, you have to play the long game. It's the longest game of chess you're going to play in your entire life.
Absolutely.
The absolute
Mm-hmm.
longest game. It's like Monopoly and chess at the same time. And y'all know how long Monopoly lasts.
Last as long as you want it to.
Right.
Facts.
Right. So what
You know
I'm
what's
saying
crazy?
is, as an
You know what's
adult,
crazy?
you're going to see those children make up their own ideas and assumptions about that parent.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is going to come out regardless. It has to.
Yeah.
Everything done in the dark comes to the light. Whether we want it to or not, good, bad, or indifferent, it's going to happen.
I'm
All
gonna
you
say
can
this
do
and
is
I'm gonna
lay your
go.
head down at the end of the night with a clear conscience and a soft pillow and say, I've done absolutely everything to make sure that my child is cared for.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not they see that they were properly cared for at this time, they're going to realize it later on in life. It's just a matter of patience. And I know patience is hard, especially when you're going through what you're going through at this present time.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to realize it's a foundational issue on both parents' side, spending the money that doesn't belong to them, bad money management. Taking out things on the children, that's maybe shadow work that they didn't take care of when they were a child. Trauma that they went through that they need to fix about themselves. Get some
My
therapy.
mother is paying child support back. I just turned 36 last month. I am the product of exactly what you're talking about.
Happy belated birthday.
A lot of it is
Happy
foundational
belated birthday.
issues.
Thank
And
you.
we don't want to
When I
realize
tell
that.
you, up until it got to the point where he passed, suddenly, this was nothing nobody expected or anything like that. I hated my dad because of the things that my mom would tell me. Oh, if he wanted this, he's the adult. Oh, whatever, everything everybody's already heard before. If you want to do it, and I've always said, if I had the choice, if I had the opportunity to see him again, or even if he passed, I've said this before. If he passed, I put on his grave and I walk off. I've said this, but I'm telling y'all right now, finding out that he passed and that he was sick, and he was sick for years, and he knew he had a date, and he was reaching out to me for like the last year and a half before he passed. And all he had to say was, Vanity, call me. Hey, call your dad. Hey, call me. That's all the voicemails I got from him. That's all it says. Call me. Just call me. Not going into detail. And then for me to get that phone call that he's not here no more. And as much as I thought I hated him, as much as I thought I didn't want nothing to do with him,
And it hurts.
I tell y'all, that's not like, man, when I never would have thought I would have felt this way.
Go ahead,
Well,
14. I haven't heard from you in a minute. Go for it.
I've I've had a particular life, and I've expressed this on numerous occasions. I grew up with two parents that were children, and when things came about as far as their co-parenting, they both said, "Fuck the co-parenting. We don't care about the kids that we had." I want people to understand, like even from the things that y'all were discussing about the fathers and not doing certain things, or even what I'm saying, seeing your baby daddy in the club at the strip club, he just told you he had no money. I've had similar situations like that, but when you don't ask questions, you're left to assume. And there was times where I was busting my ass doing shit, but see a picture on Facebook, oh, you're having fun, you're not doing anything for your kids, but really and truly, how much does it cost to get in the club versus paying for a child? Or buying a child a birthday gift or clothes and shoes for the whole school year or certain things like that. If if a conversation would have been had, I would have, what I'm saying, not to say that everybody's, what I'm saying, intelligent enough to be able to not lie and make up stories, but for me, all it would have taken was a small conversation, and I would have said, "Hey, no, I got in for free. My best friend's the promoter. I'm always gonna get in for free. I'm always gonna drink for free. I'm always gonna be, you know what I mean?" So it doesn't take an effect on my pockets because if I'm a grown ass man, why am I somewhere where I got to spend money if I got to spend money on my child and I ain't got it? You know what I mean? So I think sometimes the images leave us to assume a bunch of things that we really need to be adults about and ask questions. Now, if you get the answer that you was assuming, then you know for a fact that all right, somebody playing in your damn face.
Right.
Now, push that to the side. My oldest son, from the time that he's been little, his mother has manipulated him to believe that his father did not love him. Now, mind you, me and this woman have two kids together. Now, my second son, always, you're like your dad, you're like your dad, you're like your dad. This is what recite to him all the time, even down to his, equating his temper to mine. You know what I mean? And my son calls me. I haven't spoken to him in 6 months. It's my oldest son. I was still seeing my youngest, but I wasn't seeing him. Anytime that I would see him, I'm like, man, well, talk to him. No malice towards my son because I'm already understanding certain things. So, you know, he would tell me, oh, my mom said I had to come over here because I'm on punishment. So damn, like, you know, it's like, damn. So my house is your punishment? Like coming to your father's house is your punishment? Like, what are you not loved here? So it's okay, cool. But like I said, fast forward, he calls me out the blue from a random Google number. And I'm like, okay, cool. Nah, man, I haven't spoken to him in 6 months. So he called me like, hey, Dad, oh shit. All right, what's up, son? What's going on? You all right? Everything okay? Like, you ain't calling me from your phone? Oh, I can't. My mom took my phone, blase this, that, and the third. Dad, I just want to say I'm sorry to you. I want to apologize to you because my mom has been telling me things and I was believing them. She made me believe that you didn't love me. She made me believe that you love my siblings more than me. You did more for them than you did for me, you know, and it's like, you know, it hurt me because I was already messed up over the fact like, damn, this is my oldest son. He don't talk to me. You know what I mean? When I tell you, like, if they could have, if the pursuit of happiness could have a part two, it would be me. God damn it, because hey,
Right.
shit, I traveled with his ass. I did my thing when it came out of my oldest. You feel me? But
Right.
um, and it bothered me because it's like, man, Dad, I've been wanting to come and live with you since I was 14. I was telling my mom, I think I want to go stay with my dad. I want to do things. I want to experience this. I want to get to know my father better. You know what I'm saying? Because you're telling me things that I don't see. And I'm like, okay, well, what you want to do? I want to be like, I want to come and live with you. Sure thing. We ain't gonna even hesitate. We're not gonna do it. And then to have the experience of your oldest son live with you, but also know that he's still plagued by all of the distasteful things that his mother said to you to a point where you can't even have a conversation with him because he's still hurt by the lies and the manipulation. You know what I mean? To go to a point where now I haven't seen my second son in 7 months, almost eight. Haven't barely speak to him because his mother is doing the same exact things that she did with my oldest son with him.
Mm-hmm.
And it is creating like, and I'm only saying that to say like, man, sometimes it don't be what you think it is. Sometimes you may assume that it's that, but it's really like I say it all the time. I tell my children, it's like, hey, sometimes you do gotta be a little rebellious. Sometimes you really do gotta say, hey, nah, I need to find out. You know, screw what my mama saying. I need to find out. You know what I mean? And as a father, and this is why co-parenting sometimes is like one of the things that I'll just say, fuck it, I don't want to do it because it's like I'm a father. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not what you think I am. I'm not what you assume to be. I'm not. You're not gonna sit here and tell me I can't have happiness and do certain particular things because you have the kids and you do this and do that. No, because when you live your life to the fullest. You live your life with all of these things. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like I said, with this co-parenting thing, bro, it's like there is no telling which way this shit will go.
Hey,
Right.
Fontaine, bro, you want to know what's wild? Is I start realizing that I co-parented a lot better when entitlement became something that I no longer had a sense of anymore. And I'll tell you that
Hmm.
when it comes from both sides, not just from me. Like, you're no longer entitled to a certain type of treatment from me anymore because we are no longer together. Even then, when you thought that you were getting something from me, it wasn't because it was entitlement. It was because you was my person. So now
Yeah,
that you're
that's
no
what
longer my
that's what
person,
people.
there's certain
Mm-hmm.
things and privileges that you're no longer going to have access to.
Right.
You get
Hmm.
it's certain times of the day where I can look at you and I can go, as my woman, hey baby, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing, blah blah blah. You call me, I'm there. When you're no longer my woman, you don't get some of them same treatments, but you have my children, and they do. I'm gonna kick it to y'all like this, and this is gonna be the craziest thing in the world. My pops just told me this shit. He said, "Listen, your baby mother right now, what she's going through in her life, imagine her walking through a desert, no water, her face dried out, dehydrated, can't keep pushing forward but has no choice. And behind her, she has a cart. And on that cart sits your children, right? But because of you, your children's cart isn't just a regular cart. It's a air conditioned unit cart with running water. Running water is perfect for them. The conditions, they don't feel the effects of outside because of that cart that they sit in provided by you. Sometimes the mother looks back at that cart and sees the kids so comfortable in that cart and knew what it was like being in that cart because she was there before. And they'll do certain things to try and see if you'll let her back in the cart, even if it's just a toe, just to feel what it was like again. That is what helped me, because I understand I'm always going to shelter my children. I'm always going to take care of my children, but I don't have to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing bad for you. I want you to be well, because the children, you're their mom. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish no ill will towards you, but I just know that walk you're taking in that direction, you take that alone. But my children will not be affected by what's going on in your life.
I say
Well,
fuck
they
you with
will,
love.
but not to
That's
a
what I
certain
tell
degree where I won't be present enough to help protect them.
Mm. Right.
I tell them all the time, fuck you with love. I want you to be as happy. I want you to be as happy as you possibly can be. I want you to have the man of your dreams. I want you to have the house, the cars, and everything that you want for yourself. I want you to be the best mother in the world for my children. But fuck you. Live your life. Be who you need to be. I don't want you to be an interference to me, nor do I want to be an
Bro,
interference
you
to
don't
you.
know how hard I just laughed when you said that
Listen.
shit. I
I'm dead ass. I
want
ain't
you to know,
bullshitting.
I told you it was my spirit animal, motherfucker. I heard, listen, I
Hey,
felt
hey,
that in my being. I felt it in my
I've been
being,
doing
bro.
this shit. I've
Hold
been
on. Let me
doing
get
this
this
shit for
straight.
13.
Fonzie, are you saying, in other words, just help me out? Fuck you with grace.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with love because I mean, in the same token, I have to,
I'm gonna
in
use that on my
in,
baby father. I'm gonna
in
say
the in
that
the
to him.
same token, I have to respect the fact that what we had was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have to respect the fact that even though in any situation or any interaction with anybody, I'm going to gain negative and positive things out of it. You know what I mean? But if
Absolutely.
we have children and at the end of the day, hey, our kids need to be good. Hey, mom needs to be straight. I need to be straight. But on a personal level, fuck you.
Hey,
I'll
Fonz,
call
look, hey,
you.
check this out.
I'll
I'm gonna
call
go.
you co-parent. Look, I just did this shit the other day, bro. No bullshit. Call, hey, what's going on, kids? Woo woo. The conversation is like, oh, because I have a pet peeve of mine. I dislike when people answer my question with a question because the conversation is no longer gonna go anywhere. Because if every time I ask you a question, you ask me a question, we're not answering each other's questions, so it's a pointless conversation. And when I was told like, "Oh, you do this to ruin my day," I said, "Man, look,
Oh shit.
I only call you to co-parent, but anything other than that, girl, fuck you. Live your life. Be who you are. Do what you need to do to be the best mother you can. I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. I don't wish nothing bad on you, but fuck you. Who are you? Why would I
See,
wait? I'm waking up in the morning, putting my feet on the ground, stretching like, you know what? Let me call and ruin her day because I
fuck
just
up
feel like
her
it's
day.
necessary. Fuck her day. Fuck your day. I'm worried about my day and who's in
My
my day.
day.
No,
That
fuck
sounds
you.
wild though, right? That sounds wild though.
You know what? No, 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 no. You know what's wild though? The wild thing is I thought I was loony for feeling like that. Like I thought I was like, man, you got a one-sided mentality, bro. Ain't nobody in the world gonna be able to understand what you say when you say this shit out loud. No cap. It's the same thing as saying, yeah, I'm gonna go to the kids ask me to go to Chick-fil-A or they ask me to go somewhere to get them something to eat with their mom. I'm gonna buy them something to eat. I don't care if you ate today. I don't
Fuck you.
care.
Hey,
With love.
Frosty.
You'll figure that out.
With love.
With love.
With
If I
love.
decide,
With
but
love.
that's the thing though. If I decide, but it's the thing though. It's the entitlement for me. Because if I decided I wanted to go, you know what? Out of the kindness of my heart, I'm gonna feed my kids and their mom today, right? That should be something that I can do for me, not an
Never.
entitlement thing. You should never
Never.
look at me and be like, oh, you brought them food, ain't bring me no food. What?
Never. If we are not on good terms as co-parenting, because co-parenting is just like an extreme form of friendship.
It
You know what I
is.
mean? Understanding that we had our time, we created life, and this is what we
Life,
have to focus on for the next
Listen,
18 years. If
I
you're
know.
mistreating me during our friendship and our relationship, hey, I don't want you to speak ill of me. I don't want to speak ill of you. Hey, we're co-workers basically. Hey, do
and this,
your fucking job. I'll do my fucking job. And after we clock out of this shit, fuck you.
Hey, fine.
Go
You know when that?
home.
Hey, fine. You know when it changes though, bro. You know when it changes? It changes when things like I'm gonna tell y'all something that just happened to me personally. Hang with me. My son had to be admitted to the ICU 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. His upper respiratory system was completely messing up. His asthma was acting up. His oxygen levels was dipping 80 to
Take
85.
that phone. Take that phone.
Okay? So situations like that, when you got to show up, like I called out of work, I showed up, I'm at the hospital. You know who else at the hospital? Their mother. And that's our son. And in moments where now I know I don't really want to be in a room with you. I understand why I got to be in a room with you. Like, you know what I'm
I
saying?
didn't
Like
say
this,
hate. I
like
didn't say hate.
You too
yo,
solo.
no,
Thank
I
you.
I'm just
said
saying the energy that I had, it's still the same energy. Like, bro, I don't really want to do nothing for you, but at the same token, it's like I feel the same energy you feeling because this is us right here. And I'm talking about, bro, watching my son breathe, I was breaking in tears. Like I was in tears watching my son gasping for air in the ICU. You hear me? I'm in tears because
it's
my baby
definitely an
going through something.
uncomfortable feeling. It's
You know what I'm
definitely an
saying?
uncomfortable feeling to in co-parenting is a very uncomfortable feeling when you used to have personal feelings for that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, sitting in a room in a hospital room with somebody that you used to love brings back so many different emotions in that time. But that's why I say fuck them. Hey, you're your own person now. Hey, I
Yo,
don't want my
Nah,
emotions and
Teddy,
my
Teddy,
anything.
Teddy,
I don't want
he ain't even
anything
let me
without.
get to the worst part of it. Motherfucker gonna look at me and go, is it okay if my ex come up here? What? He wanna do what?
hmm.
You see, that's a story for another day, Teddy. Me and you will talk
And
about that
that's when
another day.
and and that's when and
Y'all
that's
can
when
figure out how that went
and
on
that's
your
when
own.
you
That's a cliffhanger
apply
for your ass right there.
and
Time
then
out.
that's
Time
when
out. Time out.
look
Time
look
out. Time out.
that's when you apply the fuck you. Like soon as she said that shit, you should have said, girl, fuck you.
Hey, listen, I
You know
don't
what I
make
What?
the
mean?
rules. I report these shits. Do y'all hear me? I do not make the rules. I
I
report
What?
report.
what
Yo,
I
the
see.
level,
Don't
the
don't
level of
level
ignorance.
of fucks. But I'm
Nah,
just gonna
nah,
let
that
y'all
was
feel that.
that was a
Y'all
jab,
feel
bro.
that.
That was a jab. That was a
Can
jab.
my
Into
ex
Nah, that
come
wasn't a
up?
jab.
that was some
It's
bull. That was some
No, no, no,
shit.
no,
That
no, no,
was some
no.
shit
The jab, that
to
wasn't a jab. The jab was me having to respond to that and all of the shit that came after that. That
you
was
shouldn't even respond it.
I would
no,
have
I
never
had to
responded.
respond. My son sitting in the hospital bed on it was his birthday. We was his birthday. He was in the ICU on his birthday. You can't make this shit up, bro. Like that's why it's just like certain people when they talk, it's like, man, I hear what you're saying, but I don't feel that shit because it ain't real. I'm
But
telling
that's
people.
why I say you shouldn't have responded. You shouldn't have responded because logically you already should have known. Oh, she just trying to
She's
test
trying
me.
to rile you up.
Mm,
Yeah, she trying. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, she was trying to rile you up. Like you know what I'm saying. That's why, bro. I stand on that. If you stand on the fuck you, all the emotional shit you could just avoid. You know what I mean? You could talk to a person more logically. Like even with my youngest son's mom, like I said, I called her. I'm look here, baby, check it out. I'm not calling you to argue. I'm not calling you to do all the extra. What are you talking about? Like, hey, it's really fuck you, but we have children together and we have to work together. So let's work together. This is
And it's
about the
not,
kids.
it's not even a negative fuck you, right? People think it's a negative
No, it's
fuck you.
not.
It's
It's
not.
out with love.
It's with love,
Cause I used to
because
I used to love you.
it eliminates the extra shit, the fluffy shit, right? Like
Right.
all of that. We don't have to worry about the
It's
fluffy
the
stuff.
same
We
thing
don't have
with
to
the
do
fucking
about
It's the same shit with a coworker, bro. Like, hey, we're cool, but we're not that fucking cool. You better watch it. All right, you better watch yourself because we're no longer. We don't have
buddy,
any ties.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
report your ass to
Bucko.
HR, buddy.
Right, you better watch out, buddy.
Playing
Bucko.
around, you have to go find new employment.
On the
facts.
real, for real. What?
Hey,
Because I've noticed how sometimes in co-parenting, bro, what we all fail to realize at times is that if you do not, and I'm only being funny, but I'm being serious. If you do not apply the fuck you, bro, you will find yourself having
One second.
co-parenting conversations turn into relationship conversations.
Nah,
And
facts.
you're doubling down. You did this when we were together, and I remember when you did this, and it don't have shit to do with the kids.
Now, what's
Nothing
this
to do
got to
with.
do with me paying for his field trip? You
I'm
call
I'm
for a
That's
a,
what.
field
I'm
trip. How the
a
fuck we get here?
let me speak on that real quick because that's where that healing comes into play, though, right? That's where that
Facts.
healing comes into play
Right.
because the problem that we have, I'm gonna go back to that resentment shit, is no matter how long you guys are co-parenting, if that shit hasn't been resolved, if you haven't done that shadow work and that work, right, then the
Yeah,
conversation is still gonna keep happening
yeah,
where
because you
you
got to
throw shit
operate
in
with a
their
person who
face,
hurt you. You
right?
got to operate with a person who hurt you. Like
So,
you're not with this person for no. Y'all not together for no reason.
but let me
You're
do this,
hurt.
right? Let me do this. This is the fun part about this, right?
Oh, fuck. You smiling. He about to do some crazy shit. Y'all don't even know. Y'all see, y'all got to pick up on the cues. The man giving you visual cues. He's about to do some shit. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I'll let you.
Both of you were
I'll
at
go ahead.
fault.
Facts.
Both of you are at fault. I don't give a fuck
Facts.
what you say or how you spin
Facts.
it. Both of you are at fault. Hear me out.
Yeah,
Hear
that's
me
fact.
out. Hear me out. And let's use the whole cheating and infidelity thing because that's usually the biggest thing people like to use. So let's use that, right? Boom. He cheated. She cheated. Cool. It keeps happening. Guess what? You were ignorant to the first time and you allowed it to keep happening the second time and the third time
Hmm.
and the fourth time. And you stayed and you stayed. And then you had kids. Then you stayed. Then you stayed. Then you had kids. Then you stayed. Then you got tired. Then you guys broke up. Now you got all
Yeah.
this trauma. You got
Hmm.
all these things that you're holding on to, right? And then you don't do the work, but then you have to
Yeah.
co-parent with all that pain and all that hurt and all that emotions
Hmm.
and all that things that you're holding on to. But instead of actually co-parenting, when you guys actually have a conversation, it never gets to the co-parenting.
Never. But see
And
what I said. I said this before, bro, to my youngest son's mom. We were conversating, chopping it up, and I was telling her something similar to that. I'm like, you know how I am as a good man, and you also know how I am as a bad man, which is most of the
Mm-hmm.
reason why we're not together. Hey,
Right.
I know you as a good woman, and I know you as a bad woman, which is most of the reason why we're not together. Co-parenting should not be as hard for us. I know your limits and what lines not to cross. You know what lines not to cross with me.
And we
We
don't
don't
want
have
each
to.
other.
We don't have to do anything bad to each other no more whatsoever. All we need to do is focus on the good parts that we know about each other and work on that because we're no longer in a relationship.
That
We're
sounds
no
good.
You ain't
longer.
even gotta talk to me. You
Oh
don't
no,
even
trust
gotta
That
trust
talk
and
to
that
me.
believe me.
sounds good. That sounds good,
Trust it.
right? It
Oh,
makes
no, no.
sense.
Oh, I can explain some things, bro. You
I'm
know,
just saying.
even though even though in the back of my mind it was like, girl, fuck you. We don't have to do none of this
It's
at
fucking. It
all.
sounds
I don't
Mm-mm.
have to.
logical as hell.
See, look at you.
It
Look at
sounds
you
it
Tell
giving the
you.
sounds
halfway story.
logical.
You know what I started doing? I start telling the truth. I do not fucking
Shit.
like you. But we have to go where we gotta go for these kids.
Man,
I'm
look,
not
look,
fucking pick.
bro.
No, I'm
This
talking about
look,
literal
bro.
English in verbatim. I'm saying what I'm saying
Look,
to her,
bro.
to you right now.
This is bro's platform and it's about positivity and it's
Yes,
about getting our shit together.
But it's
I'm
The
but it's
things
positive
that
but
in
it's
I
my
would
honestly.
really
lifestyle.
Let's keep it
fucking
all the way a
say.
hundred. Let's keep it all the way a hundred. Let's keep it all the way a hundred.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't give me that.
We hold on.
Don't tell me that.
Hold
Tell
on.
T that.
We
Do
go.
Tell
it.
T.
See, we're all about the positivity. We're all about the love, but we're not about the fluffy shit either. Like we don't do the fluffy shit, and you guys
Oh,
know
You
that.
better
It's
say it.
this is not
oh.
nothing new to you guys.
Omega,
Cut it out.
you need to
Um,
tell her. You
yeah,
need to
this
tell
is
I'm
her
not
at
we
a
act
nothing
like
new,
it's
point.
guys.
fluffy over here.
I'm
We don't do nothing
I'm
fluffy over here. We
I'm
tell
I'm
the truth.
I'm
I'm
just
staying
at
I'm staying quiet for a reason. I done wrote a whole PDF since y'all been
Yeah, I
asking.
already know he's about to blow up the fucking internet, so I'm waiting for that to happen. But we don't do no fluffy shit over here. That's one of the things. So we'll do a quick commercial break, and then we'll
Hmm.
go. We'll continue with the bullshit because it's about to get nasty in here. I ain't
Oh
gonna lie to you.
Who
yes,
we
Like,
sponsored by?
it
Charmin?
is.
You got Charmin sponsors? You
yeah,
ain't got
yeah,
the
yeah.
Charmin sponsor yet.
Not yet. We're getting there.
you know what the
You gonna need
crazy
Charmin, Bounty, and a whole bunch
I ain't
of
gonna
shit.
lie to
Yes, I am.
I
We
ain't
So
gonna
got
we
lie
got
to
you.
you,
we
bro.
got a lot of shit to
Honestly.
clean up around here. It's a lot of shit that need to be cleaned up. So we need to go ahead and
Absolutely.
get the Charmin
Honestly,
and all
honestly,
of that.
honestly.
Get the boy, get the
I've
duty wipes.
This
Oh,
feels like
don't
Get
back
them
in the
forget
day
the
a
sponsors.
little
booty
bit. No.
spray.
look,
Make sure
look,
you spray before you poop.
I've never desired to not be able to co-parent because I grew up in a very domestic and abandonment type of co-parenting thing as a child. But the one thing that I'm gaining out of being a co-parent is that sometimes you gotta take the gloves off. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Verbally. You know what I mean? Verbally.
Hey,
And
Fontaine, wait, we
I've
gotta
had
plug the sponsors. It's a commercial break. Hold on, wait, we gotta wait for. Gotta
Give me a
plug
about
this.
plug the
second.
sponsors.
Hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought, because I feel like I know where you're going with that. So hold that thought. Go ahead, sweetie.
Mm-hmm.
Hold that thought.
You
So
said what?
Go ahead,
typically,
babe.
typically this is the time where we went from coaching to now bringing up guests, but we've had guests the entire time, and it's been an amazing conversation because we typically don't go off on these tangents, but we're starting the new year off on a very difficult topic, so it is a little refreshing to hear some of these people come in and automatically judge what they think the conversation was about. But if they stay for 2 to 5 minutes and they actually read the room and listen, they understand that this isn't a debate. This isn't a back and forth about pointing fingers. It's actually a an effective conversation
Right.
where it's supposed to go.
Frankie
Um,
in the building.
Leading into that, it's 2025, and if you have not joined our Discord yet, please get in there. Um, we have 6 coaches, each with a different discipline when it comes to not only self confidence and awareness and nutrition and healing, relationships, transition, so on and so forth. 6 different coaches that can start your new year off the right way.
Absolutely.
Each
Absolutely.
hosting their own lives about their own disciplines, each having their own coaching styles that you can go to for an all around purpose of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. That's not only what you feed your mouth, but what you're feeding your mind and your body. Because again, it is a consumption thing. As far as certification and training, all the coaches are certified and trained. Um, I'm not sure if you're looking for certified and training, but they will be more than happy to answer those questions for you. Um, if you have not yet joined our Discord and you would like to, please let us know and we can get you in there. Um, if anybody has any questions, good morning, Miss Harris. Good morning, gorgeous. If anybody has any questions, let me know. We're going to keep going on this topic of co parenting. Again, if you're just joining in, I ask you to read the room before you go at one of the panel members and the way they are speaking, because I promise you, it's not what you think.
Oh,
Stay
and
a few,
PSA. PSA. This is all family here. So if you
stay a
think
few
you
minutes, listen, learn, because there's been multiple people in the comments already that are like, I came in here on 10 and I apologize because it wasn't what the conversation was.
And we know that.
Read the room.
yeah, we don't do that. We don't do that debating shit like the other lives be doing. I ain't got time for it.
You want to know what I envision this being like, bro? I envision all of us sitting in the exact same room on camera doing this exact same thing, right? Or
Oh,
we could
that's the
even be
goal.
doing this shit on a stage, right? That's like you coming into an auditorium where we kicking our shit at. You sit down, and in the middle of us speaking, you jump up and say some wild shit in the middle of the crowd. You're gonna look crazy. Everybody gonna turn and look at you and be like, you just got here. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, absorb what's going on before you just come and say some wildness out loud. Like this is that type of show for you. No, man, like
Just,
absorb what's going on.
look, just
But
know this.
but when the masses,
Just know
you know,
this,
when the
folks.
masses,
Go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was just saying when the masses is always negative, then what do you expect people to think? You know, when
Yeah.
they hear something similar. You know what I mean? You
What?
can
I
say
think
red, blue, but because I say red, you don't know I'm gonna say green. You think I'm gonna
You
say
you
blue?
want you want a legitimate answer to that question? I expect for people to be adults and be able to formulate thoughts on their own instead of going with the masses because it's leading you in directions in your life that you don't want to go into. That's what I'm expecting for people that are my age group or above to be able to consciously do. I don't want
Right.
to have to sit down and say that you've been living for 30 plus years and you're going to continuously keep making the wrong decisions. No. Why? Because that's me losing faith in humanity, which is right now looking like it's a very popular belief to have. So I'm not going with that crowd. I don't think that it's going to be
But let
something that's
me let
conducive
me
to me
before we
mentally.
get
You know
back.
what I'm
Look,
saying?
let me just give you this analogy, bro. You seen the picture, right? Where there's all these bodies moving in a straight line, and there's this one person in the middle that's facing the opposite direction because they really truly know this is the way that we're supposed to be going, right? The thing that most people don't really pay attention to, and maybe just because I'm a really, really deep thinker, is that it's not the problem that people don't want to turn around and notice the things. The problem is that they don't want to get bumped while doing it. They don't want to bump into certain obstacles to not do it. And
Still
if the
push.
whole, and even for me, I have to separate myself from shit because it's like, okay, I'm tired of going the right direction because I'm being fucking bumped by a bunch of shit I don't want to have to go through. You know what I mean? Even just relating to co-parenting, it's like trying to be a father in situations where we live in a world where they give spotlight to all the shit that fathers don't do, and how fathers is not, and how they abandon their kids, and how they just so mad at the woman and all this. And then when you remove all of that and you make your focal point, these things, sometimes you do get to a point, whether you're an adult or not, you just like, okay, I'm tired of being bumped by this shit.
Right.
Because because you really don't want to push people. You really want everybody to turn around and go the same way as you.
True.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's just something that we all got to really just understand when you look at that, bro. It's damn near inevitable.
I'm
That work
pushing.
is
Shit.
necessary.
That's all
That
I'm saying.
work
I'm
is
pushing.
necessary.
I'm pushing people. Get the fuck out of my way. I'm going this way. You go that way. Fine. Cool. I'm pushing. But
Listen,
that's neither. You know that you got it.
I'm just allowing
I feel
people
that.
to eliminate themselves. I'm
Boom.
not pushing people out. I'm not doing none of that. First of all, that consumes way too much energy for me to be having to do that. And me personally, I like to, have the energy that I have for the people that I know want to do the work, right? Like for the people that
Right.
want to be coachable, are able to be coached. I have full energy for you guys, no problem. But the moment I see somebody that they just want to do too much and they don't want to be coached and they don't want to be told what to do, they don't want to take criticism, they don't want to do none of that, which is all the things that you need to elevate, right? And to be the better version of you. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be uncomfortable. You don't want to do none of this stuff, right? You just want to stay stagnant. Cool.
Hmm.
Stay stagnant over there. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. I'm sorry. Like it's just not a thing for me. I'm not doing it, especially with co-parenting, right? Because with the conversation I had with my kid's mom, it was the realest conversation I've had with her in the years that we've known each other. I said, anything that you're currently going through that's causing you to feel the way that you feel about me, you need to figure that out.
Hmm.
Because I've never, even in the moments where we argued and fight and go through this, I've never stopped being a father.
Mm.
I've always made sure that my kids had everything that they needed. I made sure that they
Man,
were
put the
good.
claps in there, bro. Put the claps in there, bro.
I'm just
You better
saying,
clap.
like I'm just telling the
Yeah,
truth.
put the fucking claps in there. Real shit.
That's your shit.
And
That's real.
the moment that she said, "I'm sorry that I was going through things that I was going through and I took it out on you," was the moment that our co-parenting situation became fucking A1 because she finally opened up. She
Yeah.
finally opened up and she told me what it
That's what's
was.
up.
And when we had that conversation, I said, listen, I'm not here to attack you. I'm not here to belittle you. I'm not here to bash you, to make you feel small or nothing like that. I want to know where you are so my kids know that we're good. Like, we were together for 6 years. I'm sure we could be fucking friends being together for 6 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We could be something cordial.
Right.
Something.
Like it has to be that because first of all, we've shown our kids that we can be cordial, but we don't. The back
Right.
and forth is unnecessary, right?
Yeah.
If we have a disagreement, cool. Even within our disagreement, we still made sure our kids were good, regardless, right? That's the maturity of it
Yeah.
all. We don't have to agree on everything. Our parenting skills are completely different. The way that we parent are completely different. But we still have a common ground on what we're supposed to give our kids in regards to the discipline, in regards to conversation, in regards to parenting, in regards to finances. We still have a common ground. We don't have to agree
Yeah.
on everything. We're not supposed to. It's just not that. I don't feel like we
I,
need to agree on everything. We just need to
Mm.
agree enough to make sure that our kids are good.
I
That's
just
it.
want to tell this, bro. I ain't never. I don't think I never explained this situation like this. So
Mm.
y'all know I have a daughter,
Mhm.
Yep.
but my daughter's not biologically mine, and I've been
Mm.
raising her since she's been 4. She's about to be 16. Like, and I don't see any. And to be honestly, like, I don't see nothing, no difference. Like, she mine. You feel me? Like, because
Right.
it's the time and the attention, it's the emotional connection. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that conversation that you just had was the conversation that I had with her mother because the amount of disrespect that you have to receive knowing that you're still being something for a child that you're not obligated to be based out of love. And it's like, why? If I was with you for this extensive amount of time and I've also performed outside of us being together and still being this child's father, why is there so much disrespect?
Right.
Why is it that when you pick up the phone for me, you think that you're supposed to conduct yourself the same way you conduct yourself with any other man? No. You know what I mean? Like, and like I like literally have to stop fucking with this person. Like because it's like we can't be nothing on no level. Like at all. Like your child
Right.
calls me daddy. That's my daughter.
Yeah. Facts.
You
Regardless
cannot
of what you think about
for
it.
the reality of it is
Yeah.
we're living in la la land because it's based out of love, and if the love is real, then the fantasy is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a happy story. You feel what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So it's like when you have those conversations with certain people, bro. Like we keep saying, when you're co-parenting, you have to have some type of intelligence across the board. Like even down to the point where you realize that, like, wait a minute, I'm taking my frustrations out on the person that's still doing.
Mhm.
I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? I'm disrespectful. Or I'm being, you know what I'm saying, difficult, and I'm forgetting who they are, and I'm trying to treat them like the person that how I feel. You know what I mean? It's one of the hardest things in the world because it's then you're still doing,
Right.
you're still being, but it damn near feel like you're still in a relationship because it's like I want to remove that so that way we can, like I said earlier, focus on all of the good that we know of each other,
Mhm.
not of the bad because that's what you bring in, and it's like that
Right.
don't make sense.
And
You know what I
that
mean? It's like
and
go ahead, bro.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So and that stems from having to do the work. Like you have to do the work. Like there's no like it all comes down full circle. The work has to be done. Self work has to be done. There has to be some form of healing shadow work or something that you have to do to understand that all right, this is no longer about me. Like this is no
Hmm.
longer about me. This is about this child. We have to communicate and we have to be cordial for this child and not fake cordial because if you actually do the work you don't have to be fake cordial.
And
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like
throw something. I'm gonna throw something out there, and this is probably gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings. And honestly, at this point, it is what it is. Even in the relationship, it is constantly. If you're not in the idea and the mentality of fixing the foundation, you're literally throwing band-aids over things. Band-aid after band-aid after band-aid after band-aid. And you know what the sad part is? Is sometimes those band-aids come in the form of new lives, new children. Oh, we can fix this. We can fix our fight. Let's have another kid. What did you fix? You just brought another kid into a problem that they didn't ask for. You didn't fix anything.
Made that shit worse.
You done fucked up again. You took your problem and magnified it. Again, you were ignorant the first time. You made the choice the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and the fifth time by putting kids into a relationship that didn't work from the beginning because the foundation was fucked up. Excuse my French. Instead of working on you and making the best lifestyle for the child that has already been exposed to the two issues that the both of you as adults had, you said, let's have another kid. That'll fix everything. No, it's not going to. Now you have two children. Confused. Heartbroken. Mentally disturbed, God forbid, of what their life is going to be because of the fact that you didn't choose to work on the foundation. You just want to slap a Band-Aid over it.
Hey, sis, real quick. This when you put yourself in that situation, does that count as a planned kid?
Let me tell you something.
I'm just saying.
I can't stand you.
Every child is a planned child. I don't care what anybody says. Every child is a planned child. If you choose to lay down with someone, guess what? You're choosing to potentially have a child.
I think
It's I mean
having kids is
it
like picking up pennies.
Woo.
there's birth control, yes. Is birth control 100% effective? Absolutely not.
There's condoms.
But what's the best birth control? I think the best birth control is the word no.
The best birth control is staying away from each other's private parts. Period.
Now we all know that shit ain't happening. I just got
I
to
ain't
say
doing
something.
that.
Ain't happening. Nah.
Wrap it
But
up.
what I'm saying, and everybody on this panel can sit up here and tell me I'm wrong if and I don't have. I've never birthed a child, so I probably should be the last one speaking on any of this. But at the same time, I've
You're a
seen
bonus
it
parent.
happen. I am a bonus parent,
Yes,
but
you
at
are.
the same time, I understand what this comes from many different perspectives. Like I said, I am the product of a second marriage who watched children grow up and have quote unquote daddy issues because of their experience. I've watched many of my friends co
What's
parent
good, X?
in healthy and unhealthy circumstances. And all of it comes down to the foundation of what you're willing to fix about yourself or help your co parent fix about themselves. Whether it's giving them time to figure it out and just doing what you have to do and staying quiet, as hard as that is. Again, longest game of chess ever, but it'll happen.
Before I let Hormigo go, because I know he's about to blow up the internet, I want to speak on something because I feel like it's fucking annoying, and I'm tired of people, parents, using this as an excuse, and we're gonna nip it in the bud here. For the parents that quote unquote say, "I'm staying for the kids."
Oh yeah.
I'm staying for the kids. I'm staying for the kids. I'm fighting and I'm arguing and I'm having these screaming matches and it's getting violent and it's getting domestic and it's doing all of this, but I'm staying for the kids. You're doing more damage than good to these kids by staying for the kids. You're doing more damage than good. If you think your kids don't hear what's going on, they hear everything. We just spoke about this earlier in the live. They hear everything. They hear all of it. They
Yeah,
probably
my father
mimicking it.
told me a long time ago. He said, if you notice that you're having problems now, leave as soon as possible because the longer you stay, the more you're gonna fuck your kids up.
Yep, absolutely. You know what
Because
I'm
I
saying?
had to learn, you know what I mean, even in any relationship, I will leave or be okay with the person leaving because it's like if I don't if my kids can't, and this I say this for anybody, if your children can't see you be respected and loved, you don't need to have them around.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because they're going to have to interact or know how to be. You know what I mean? Like your sons are going to have to interact with other men and women. Your daughters are going to have to do the same. So it's like what you bring inside of the house and what you deal with. You know what I mean? Like it can change a lot of shit. Like and shit, what? When you even look at your own life, it's like, damn, I grew up in these certain particular situations because this is what people did not do. They did
Mm-hmm.
not leave the situations before shit got critical, and then boom, you pop up or your sibling pop up, and it's like, hey, this shit getting worse. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? And you
Exactly.
get the backlash of that. You know what I mean? Especially for myself personally, like I'm the oldest of eight. So I experienced like every time something shifted, it was like, damn, like
Boom.
I experienced the life because I'm the oldest. So it's like, man, shit, yeah, you got to get up out of there.
Yeah.
you
And one of the
you got to
things
leave
too,
things like
one of
that.
the things for the kids, for me anyway, I can only speak for my situation. My kids were taught to be independent from day one. Like we taught them how to do things on their own and how to maneuver on their own. If they need to make something to eat, they know how to do it at with their age now. Like they know how to do all of that, right? They had a mind of their own. We never minimized the fact that they needed a voice. They always had a voice. So if they felt something wasn't right, they vocalized it. And we didn't stop them from vocalizing. We didn't try to use the whole parent thing like you stay in a child's place. No. Tell me what you feel. I need to know how you're feeling so that way we can maneuver correctly because uh, us, our parents, didn't give us that. Sorry. Not sorry. We love our parents.
What?
But I ain't get that opportunity, right? And
Wait,
I
wait, bro. Look, y'all gonna laugh at this shit, man. So I told you my oldest son, and I just gotta tell y'all know I treat y'all like my brothers, man. So I was having that issue with my son,
mm,
and it was the most hard, most hurtfulest things that I had to really do in front of my child that I know my father still to this point cannot do. And that was to be able to shed tears in front of my son to let him know how much I really loved him.
mm,
Because his still believing in the fact of what that his mother told him about me, he like you're living that here. You're acting like you know, hey, look, when I tell you this, I mean it. You know what I mean? And like I had to let him know, like I had to get on his ass. Like I had to let him know, like you cannot play with your father's love. I mean this shit. I live this. Like to a point where I'm explaining to him, he's watching me cry. My son is crying, and I'm like, you know what? Like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like this is the moment that I wanted. You know what I mean? Even though it may still take him time to understand, but that moment alone, if I could have had that,
listen.
then I would have been way better.
To have to break that all down, knowing that was beat into him by his mother, right? To have him just break all that down, to have to change his mindset, change his mind frame from who she said that you were. That is so much work. I don't think people realize how much work that is because, like we said, kids are sponges. So everything that they have it's embedded. It's there. Like it's not going nowhere, right? Especially if you're living with that parent and that parent's constantly doing it. It's a consistent thing. And then when they finally realize or they find something clicks and they realize something's not adding up. Because everything that you've told me, I've never actually seen it when I'm with
Right.
my dad, when I'm with my mom. I've never actually seen it. So where is this coming from? You know what I'm saying? And that goes
Yeah.
that whole resentment thing. That goes that whole
Hmm.
not healing. That goes that not doing the work, not doing the shadow work, focusing on you. And I'm sorry, I'm going to say this out loud. It is not the other parent's responsibility to focus on your healing. You need to focus on you. The moment you guys break up, your responsibility to be the better version of you for the sake of your kids is on you and you only. Nobody else. Sorry, not sorry. Nobody got time for that shit. If you feel
For
like you
real.
can't be the better version of yourself for your kids, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it out loud. Give the kids to the parent that is actually doing everything that they need to do. Give them,
Shit, and to
give.
what you said, bro,
You know what I'm
you really
saying?
need to at a certain age, you know what I'm saying? Because logically they say that children come into a very deep understanding of their reality between 7 and 8.
Right,
That's the time where you need to start asking your children, how would you want your mother and father to be for you?
right,
You know what I mean? Like, hey, if it's being friendly and being friends, then all right, do it for the kids. If the mindset is we doing this for the kids, we doing this for the kids, doing this for the kids, doing this for like you'll always do it. It's repetition. Everything
right.
in life is damn near fucking repetition.
But how
So it's
can you
like, you know,
do?
sometimes
But how can you do for the kids? Right? Hear me out. How can you do for the kids if you're not doing for yourself? Don't
yeah,
work.
that's why I say, man, a lot of people gotta be more like, man, fuck you with love, man. I wanna
Like, you
live
know
my
what I'm
life.
saying? Like, really think
I want to
about
live
that.
my life. I want to live my life, man, and be happy. I want you to do the
You
same. But man, if you gonna be an interference, fuck you. I don't
you
want that.
can't
I don't want
you
no interference.
can't do you can't be an effective parent the way that you're supposed to be an effective parent if you're not focusing on the shit that you're holding on. You
Yeah,
have to heal from that shit. You have to
yeah,
get
hell
rid of
yeah.
it. It has to go. It has to go. Especially if it's been years. It's been
Mm.
years. Like let's think about that for a second. A lot of situations has been years, right? It's been years. And you're still operating the same exact way that we did when we broke up.
What? I had to call somebody mama.
Like,
Like, what's wrong with your daughter?
you know what I'm
She
saying?
needs
Like, what's wrong
therapy.
with you?
I'm like, she's miserable. Help. I haven't spoken to her in 3 years. She hasn't seen me in 3 years. I said, how long have you, it's been since you've seen me?
How
We
long
don't like,
how long are you gonna blame
help
the other
her.
person? How long are you gonna keep blaming the other person?
I'm telling her sister, I'm like, somebody need to help her, get her some help, take her to therapy. Somebody help her, cause I like what? Like, come on now, like y'all, like, and y'all know the truth. Like, nah, get her mom on the phone.
I'm
You
gonna
gotta talk to her
I'm
mom.
gonna say one more thing. If you're using your children as that closure conversation, you have a problem.
Ooh,
I'm gonna say that out loud. If you are using your children as a closure conversation, you are the problem. You're never going to find the closure. And if you are using your children as an excuse to try and maintain uh, or achieve that closure, you have a serious problem. You need to
and do
seek therapy. You need to seek help.
Jesus Christ himself. Just saying. I'm just saying. It's
Because
the truth though. It's the
a
truth. She's not
lot of
lying.
people will use the
Yeah.
children as a as
Pawn.
an excuse to try and achieve closure with what they dealt with in a relationship. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
That sounds like the people that hide behind religion. But we're not going to go there, are we?
No, but I'm gonna let you take the floor though. I'm gonna let you take the floor. Everybody mute up because I know he's about to speak about some shit.
I
You let him
don't.
take the floor.
I'm gonna talk about some of the things that we missed along the way.
Go ahead.
We're gonna talk about the definition. Okay.
And we're gonna do the origin thing, huh?
Yeah, because a lot of people are under the impression that the first thing they hear or the first thing they experience, that's it. So when we're talking about co-parenting, this usually and dominantly talks about a breakup in a relationship that you are no longer romantic, you no longer see yourself with this person in the form of divorce, in the form of separation. There is some type of change in the household where now there is a separation of places where people rest their head. You understand? So when a person leaves the household, is what we're talking about, going into a co-parenting. All right. So what I want to do is give people a couple of ideas, right? Obviously, we talked about how difficult it is to co-parent, right? Because there's two people involved. Some people have this myth that they can co-parent. Listen to what I'm about to say, that they can co-parent better by themselves.
That okay. Let's go with that. That that I'm hearing you.
Me,
Some people
me,
feel
me. I say that all the time. Every time I'm on here, you speaking to my soul. I already see. I know me. Just give me the kids. I don't. They mamas can go live their lives
Right.
like they did back in the day.
But
Like,
but that's a myth. The myth is if you think that you can co-parent, listen to the words I'm saying. If you
Co.
think that you can co-parent better by yourself, you are already going down a rabbit hole that might not have an exit. I'm just letting you know. Because the word co needs two.
Yes. Yes.
Like cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're cooperating with yourself doesn't mean that you are a good cooperator with other people.
Mm.
Anything that has the word co is a prefix, meaning it takes two to tango.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's just get that out the way.
That's how we got here in the first place.
look, I tried the right way first. Let me just make this disclaimer. I tried the right way
I
first. You know what I
tried
mean? I'm
too, and I
very
got two of them.
I
You know what I'm
I
saying?
co-parent. You know what I'm saying? If co-parent had a goddamn picture by it, it'll probably be me. But after a while, it's like, man, just give
That
me the
picture faded a little
goddamn
bit.
kids.
But here's
I
the
don't want
thing.
to
Okay.
talk to you anymore.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Whether you did, even if you did things the right way, it's not guaranteed that it will work because of the prefix co.
Yeah.
So you could be doing the best you can, or you can think. Listen to what I just said. You can think you're doing the best you can, but sometimes doing the right thing is the wrong thing.
So you still didn't give us the full definition.
That's the definition is co-parenting is shared parenting.
Mm.
To raise the children after a separation or a divorce, it involves parents being both physically present and involved,
There you go.
not just being there physically. That's one benefit,
Mm.
but then involved, getting your hands dirty, getting your fingernails dirty, not just talking, doing. And what are you involved in with? The decisions about the children's education,
Mm.
healthcare, religion, social activities.
So before you continue, right?
Mhm.
So Love said in the chat, co-parenting is only hard when both parties make it that way. Absolutely. So just like and I'm always gonna revert back to the healing process, right? Because it is a mental health platform. We need to do the work. I don't care what, and to put that disclaimer out here, get rid of your toxic ass friends. Okay, get rid of your toxic ass friends that's putting bugs in your ear about this, that, and the third. Fellas, you too. Get your toxic ass male friends out of here, putting bugs in your ears about the bullshit. And because trust and believe, what they telling you is not the truth. What they telling you is the shit that they dealt with that they chose not to work on. So they're moving around stagnant
All right.
and uncomfortable.
And now we're gonna and now we're gonna get now it's gonna get juicy. I am going to give a little bit of pushback on that statement. That doesn't mean I'm disagreeing. I'm just gonna give a little pushback. It's not only hard when both parties make it that way. All it takes is one.
No, all right, no, I got you. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I had to think about
These
that
guys,
for a
these
second.
both of these guys just
Yeah.
said
I had to think about that for
they
a second.
just
Go ahead.
said
Yeah.
they just said I tried doing things the right way. Listen to this. I tried doing things the right way. But the right way only works if the other person accepts it that way.
That's true. That's true.
So let's and I'm not disagreeing because I don't want to create a back and forth, but it only takes one. It takes two to dance, but you can dance by yourself.
Absolutely.
It ain't the same thing, right? So let's talk about what this is doing to the children. Okay? Your children's self-esteem is at risk. If you learn how to co-parent the right way, you teach kids how to deal with conflict resolution.
Mm,
If you do things the right way, it helps kids adjust to the changes in life. And more importantly than anything else, it fosters emotional stability.
boom.
All right? So I'm just giving you a couple of things. I'm not going to go deep because I got pages from here to the motherland.
I
Trust
mean,
me.
we got another hour, so we good.
Well, now I'm only need 5 minutes. Watch this. Now I'm going to give you some tips, and then I'm going to give you some rules. But let's talk about the difficulties, the pros and cons. Right? It's complicated because it relies on both people to cooperate. And if you didn't cooperate before, what makes you think that you're going to cooperate now? Okay, that's number one.
Facts.
Okay, if you never got along, and this is weird because in certain situations you didn't get along when you were together, but you became the best of friends after you broke up.
Hi, how you
Every
doing?
every every situation is different. So when you listen to advice, take it with a grain of salt because only part of that advice pertains to you. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. All
Hey,
right.
listen.
So pay attention to everything, but absorb the things that are pertaining to your indigenous
I
situation.
wore some uncomfortable ass shoes, so I'm here for it.
Yeah. So here we go. It's complicated. There's discrepancies. It feels sucky to have to talk to someone who broke your heart. It feels sucky to have to deal with a person who never cared. The worst thing to do is try to negotiate with someone that doesn't give a fuck about you.
Absolutely.
But guess what, ladies and gentlemen, and get ready for the Sherman.
Oh shit.
It ain't about you, goddamn.
Man,
And I'm not saying nobody cares, but if you don't care about yourself, why should anybody else? That's number one. Okay? There's three types of co-parenting: collaborative, which is cooperative, and then there's conflicted. Now, I'm not talking about conflict because, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to run from conflict. But when it's over conflicted or highly conflicted, that means that it's toxic. Okay? Because conflict is going to happen. But when there's too much conflict, that's toxic.
Yeah.
Not all
Absolutely.
conflict is toxic. Toxic is overwhelming. Toxic means too much. That means that you are going against whatever it is supposed to be. Okay?
Anything that's toxic, right? Anything that's toxic or deemed toxic was labeled that by a toxic person.
I, I,
let's
be- I
let
believe whoever invented toxic came from
let's
a
put that
toxic
out there.
person.
It definitely came from a toxic person because
Because misery needs company. That's why.
we've talked about the ego. We've talked about all these things that have toxic traits that have that toxic notation to it, but it's not toxic. Conflict is not toxic. It can be positive conflict. It's just the way that you go about it.
Right. So look this up, ladies and gentlemen. Cooperative is not what you think it is. Cooperative, the biggest word in cooperative is compromise.
Right.
Conflicted, not just regular conflict, excessive conflict, toxic. Now, here's the word that I want you to look up: parallel co-parenting.
Oh, that's fun. I seen that. When I was yeah, I
That
seen that.
means that you guys do things the same way. That means that you guys are on the same page. But that is a dangerous and a slippery slope because where there is no compromise, there is no change. Where there is no compromise, there is no growth. And you could be hurting the children by being mundane and not being innovative and trying to evolve a little bit in front of them to show them that you don't have to be the same person that
It's
you
like a robot
were.
parenting in a sense. Like it's like being parented by AI.
Oh, what else? What other
but
choices do we have, bro? Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
what
look,
what do you do when you have to deal with that though?
you
When
have to
you're
deal with
when
it.
you're when you're the person with the aspect of what's the saying what's for the embetterment of the child, not as to belittle a person, but to make a person understand that hey, this situation that we have, you know, I'm not saying that you don't have your way of doing things, but in these certain categories, I'm supposed to be the one in control of.
Well, the first thing, Fonzarelli, I will tell you is to take the word make out of your sentence because you can't make do anybody anything.
Yeah,
That's true.
You have to take that word make because we feel compelled to have to try to convince people to be a certain way.
we can't.
And
They
that's
have to want to do it.
impossible because even if they do it, they're only doing it for a short time.
Yeah, they're not gonna. They're not gonna instill it in there every day. Even if you
Yeah.
bring it up, even if you vocalize it and it works, right? Even if it works, here I say even if it works, and we know that it fucking works,
All right.
because it's you telling them that shit, they're not gonna do it.
Yo,
It's
I hate
they're
you
not
right
gonna
now.
do it.
I hate you right now.
Oh,
I'm gonna take another energy gum for this next part. I suggest that people get their pad and paper right now because this is going to help a lot of people. Some of this information you already know. If you already know, then this is a acknowledgement.
A refresher.
Don't ever turn away information that you heard before because sometimes you need to reinstate it. Sometimes you need to be reminded. Learning is not always the purpose of conversation.
Right.
Okay, so let's get that out the way. All right. So here's some tips for co-parenting. Dun, 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 dun. First thing is prioritize the children's best interests. Make it about the child, but don't use it as an excuse not to do what you got to do for you. So there's a balance that needs to be created here. Yes, we lead with the child's best interest, but we do not leave ourselves behind.
Right.
Number one. Number two, establish clear communication channels. People don't get past that part. That's the part where they get stuck in.
Yeah.
So you have to maintain consistency in parenting styles. In other words, do what works and stick to it and wait for something to happen before you give up on it. Okay? Also, just like we can't make other people do something, be a good leader and lead by example. Sometimes people need to see it in order before they do it. They don't like to hear it.
Right.
Nobody likes to listen, but they mimic what we
What
do.
up, Riz?
Right? So then now, be flexible and accommodating. That is that is very difficult to do, to accommodate the person that hurt you, to accommodate the person you feel abandoned you, to accommodate the person you feel
good, bro.
dropped the ball. Right?
Lord Jesus.
Here's another one that people don't get. Seek professional help.
Hold on. Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. You want to say that again?
Do
For
that
the
one
people
more
in the
time.
back?
Do that one more time.
Say that for the people in the back.
Seek professional help. These, let me tell you something, a breakup can go so many ways. You may never recover from a breakup. You may never heal from a breakup. You might take out your frustrations on everybody that comes forward after that moment.
Hold on. Time out. Pause. 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 Okay. I see that comment. See see that right there. See professional help and go to. Okay. Let's kind of debunk that a little bit, right? I want to be very transparent when I say is there's certain things that you do not tell your pastor. I'm sorry.
There's a
There's
lot of
certain
there's a
there's
lot
a
of
lot of things that you do not tell your pastor that you can tell a professional. Okay? Because they are by law cannot speak on certain things that you tell them. Okay? A pastor does not have that license. They don't have that law. They can spread your shit to the fucking world if they want to, right? But that goes against them. That's between their moral, their character, and who they are as a person. So be very mindful. I'm not saying you can't speak to your pastor because, listen, when I was in church and speaking to my pastor, he was an amazing person. But some pastors are not that. So be very mindful of the type of person your pastor is. Make sure that through and through that they're really a good person, right? Just to put that
right.
out there, right? I'm not debunking not speaking to your pastor, but I want people to be very mindful that your pastor is not licensed, is
Let-
not a
let-
professional, and they're not legally obligated to keep anything that you say with them.
And since we're on that subject real quick, let me tell you something about pastors. If you're the type that you like to say your story to different people, there's no reason why a pastor has to hold that in. Listen to what I just said. Now, if you told the pastor and the pastor only and it leaks out, you know where it came from. But if you're the type that you talk to different people about your situation and it's getting spread through the grapevine, the pastor is going to do the same thing. He's going to have that pillow talk with his wife. He's going to have that community talk with people and say, hey, you shouldn't go to them because they're going through something right now. Oh, what is it? Oh, I shouldn't say. Yes, I should. Anyway, be very careful of anyone. It doesn't matter who it is. Pastor,
Yeah.
be very
You
careful.
even gotta shop you even gotta shop with your professionals, guys. You're not gonna get the best therapist or the best counselor the first time around. You might
Right.
have to shop 2 or 3, 4 times.
Now we're going to continue, right? Now, here's another one. Set boundaries. We talked about this 1,000 times.
Oh boy.
We already talked about the set boundaries, but let's set
Go a little deeper with
realistic.
that.
I love it when people just say boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. What kind of boundaries? Okay, these boundaries have to be realistic. These boundaries have to be achievable.
Yes.
These boundaries cannot just be for you because we're not talking about you again. We are talking about the child, right? This is where we put our differences to the side and become mature enough to understand that if we keep going down this route, we are creating a beast or a monster of a child. And when this child reacts, when they're like 15, 16, 17, don't sit back and say, I don't understand. I did everything in my power to help this kid. Well, the foundation was broken to begin with.
Yes.
So here's the other one. Stay positive and avoid negative talk. Good luck with that.
So fucking Jesus. Back to the foundation. I wanna be clear on that, right? So when you guys were together, it was just one foundation, right? The moment you guys broke up, the foundation became three. It's not just one anymore. It's your foundation, her foundation, and the foundation of the co-parenting. So, for people that think co-parenting is easy, it's not because that's three different foundations that need to be built effectively so everything can work. The moment there's a crack in her foundation, that foundation of a co-parenting has a crack in it
I
on
like
her
you.
side or vice versa.
I
You
like
know what
you.
I'm saying? So be very mindful that there's three sets of foundations the moment you guys break up.
I like that you said that
As
because
much as I love you and I don't want to disagree, I think there's three foundations before you break up. And that's on individuality as a human in a relationship. You
true.
talk about being an individual in a relationship. And I'm not trying to argue with you in front of no. What I'm saying is if you're not working on yourself all the time in the relationship, you're not helping the relationship to survive if you're constantly fighting those demons that you have within yourself and not letting the other person in on those.
Right.
Very much
So
so.
I'm going to say, again, as much as I love you, I
Love you
don't
too.
want to disagree with things. I'm going to tell you that it doesn't start when you break up. It starts when you get together.
Okay. Now,
Hold on. Even before that, it starts when you're single. Work on your foundation when you're single, so you can work on yourself as an individual before you get in a relationship, so you can bring a healthy version of you into a relationship.
okay.
Imagine two healthy people getting into a relationship. Two healthy people bringing a child into this world. Two healthy people raising a human who doesn't have to slap band-aids on things and seek help because they can no longer help themselves.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Watch this now.
I'm gonna shut up now.
Now, here comes the part where things have to be a little bit confusing before they become clear. I agree and disagree with both of you.
I don't like you right now.
Now, watch this. And sis, you said a key word in what you were saying. Imagine. It's imaginary to do that because here's the deal. Only 10% of people that go into relationships have both of them have their individualism intact.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can't go backwards, right? So yes, it's good advice before you get into a relationship. Have a relationship with yourself, understand yourself, understand what you do or don't bring to the table, be realistic about it. But in this case, I'm gonna have to disagree with you because the dynamic becomes a family dynamic where we all pull and share from, and then it becomes for the first time an individual thing because most people are not prepared. And why people break up? Because one grew, the other one didn't, or they're not the person we thought they were, or we're not the person we thought we were.
And I'm going to agree with you. And here's the thing is you don't realize how and I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs on this because it's been a month.
It's mind-boggling.
A lot of people don't realize how fucked up they are until they get in a relationship. Because they don't realize there's no one to point out all of the little things that you do that you don't realize you're doing. All of the unhealthy habits that you have, there's no one to point that out to you when you're by yourself.
And this is why.
Absolutely no one.
But this is why we have these conversations. So for those that don't have kids yet or not in a relationship right now, look at what's gonna happen to you.
I will tell you
don't
from
pay
personal
attention.
experience. From personal experience. Being by myself for a long time and not working on things, I had a reality check of a lifetime. The reality check of a lifetime, because guess what? Everything's hunky-dory when I live by myself and there's no one to point out that maybe I should think about doing things in a different way. Because why? My way always worked until it didn't. And it was up to me to figure that out. Was it always the healthiest way to go through that long, extended amount of time and not have anybody to point that out to me? Absolutely not.
Check this out. I'm gonna put you on game right now. Pay attention to these words because these words come from the soul. Okay. A lot of people get into a relationship because they don't want to continue to do the right thing.
Oh shit. Oh, that's what we're doing?
No. Listen to this.
Oh, okay.
Some people get into a relationship because they want to ease off on themselves. Because when you are by yourself, you have to do things right. Otherwise, who's the one that pays for it? You, right? Right. But when you get it, some people get into a relationship so they can release the obligations and the responsibilities. They want to be able to mess up more. They want to be able to have a reason why they don't have to be responsible. And I'm not saying all.
And then they have bad relationships and blame it on the other person.
But we have more bad relationships than good relationships. Otherwise, the divorce rate wouldn't be so high.
And then they throw children into the middle of it, and then they raise children in a disgruntled household.
These kids become the result or circumstances of bad decisions. That's number one. And that's what we need to realize. And usually, and please, nobody take this personal, but if you do, then that means that if the shoe fits, wear it.
Fuck it. It is what it is.
Most kids are not planned. And people say, you can't plan a kid. There's no diagram. We talked about this. Yes, you can plan a kid. Would it be perfect? No, it won't be perfect. But if you plan a kid, at least you're doing the resourcing. At least you're talking to people that have experience. At least you are putting yourself in the position to do better. People wait to do better after things are fucked up.
He said 20 minutes of pleasure.
And that's the point. That's the point.
Yo, Damien, oh my God.
That's the point I keep going back to is the foundation.
But nobody does that, sis.
Imagine raising good humans. Imagine raising amazing humans because you decided to stop being what generation and generations before you taught you.
I got some good humans.
And brother Damien, I'm gonna tell you something, brother Damien. You just came in here, and I'm gonna share something with you. Not everybody lasts 20 minutes. I'm just saying.
Boy, you better tell him I was about to say something because you got me fucked all the way.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's 2.5 minutes.
That That is another
And sometimes
conversation
it's
for
not
another
20
day.
years. Sometimes it's a lifetime.
Jesus Christ.
You know, listening to y'all have this conversation, bro, it always makes me think about if you could, you know how they got them situations where you're like, if you could have the brain you have now 15 to 20 years ago, how much more different would your life be right now if your brain could just go backwards 20 years into your body to see what things would be different? And my mind is like, boy, I don't really know because I still ain't that great of a fucking person. But y'all think it's some shit to be different.
But guess what, T? You have the control to make sure that your child doesn't have that same realization 20 years down the line from now. You have
Facts.
that control.
we all got to understand that understanding itself is private.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else about life is in the forefront.
Yeah.
The mistreating of another person, but desire everybody to treat you a certain particular way.
Yeah.
To think that the things that you bring to a relationship is not what you're supposed to teach to your child or show your child a better way. It's because we're fed this shit every day. We hear it, we see it, and we speak it all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
on every reality you could think of, we ain't. It's nothing but bad shit that's going to you're going to have to learn first.
I mean, you
Everybody
got to know
is
the chaos
trying
first, right?
to. Well, that's why I say we all have to understand we're children of chaos. The world was created in darkness. We have to understand we're oblivious to all of the good things in life.
Yeah.
We're oblivious to it. We felt it. We all know a time. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, we all trying to explain that there was a time. So if we're now at this point where we're saying that people are not realizing something, that means that we're not in that time. We're not in the time where people realize those things anymore.
I like
So
that.
there's going to be a continuance of fucked up kids. Hey, there is this shit is inevitable. All you could do is fight for what's righteous. All you could do is fight what's right. You know what I mean? We could leave the notes and the books and everything else, and maybe the next generation will pick it up and it'll be more of them. But
Or they'll
to
take the
think,
pages out there and roll up with it. Who knows?
hey, like
Like,
they say, you can bust your ass for the rest of your life and leave your kids millions and millions of dollars, but depending on how the world, you know what I'm saying, they adapt to the world, shit. They might
I'm,
they might not have
I'm
a
glad you
penny
said
by
that.
the end of the
I
game.
want to hear from Riz real quick
Wait,
before
wait,
you
wait, hold on.
go.
Before let me just go through this real quick, right?
Okay.
So I can finish getting out of this.
Gotcha.
And what you said, Fonzarelli, is true. Being present and being aware is very important, and I know that's why he wanted to go to Riz. But let me finish this. The last one on this list, which should be the first one, is self care. Practice self
I
care.
was gonna say that.
I didn't get there yet. I didn't get there yet. I didn't get there. Let me finish so that you can fill in the blanks, right?
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna say it fast, and then we're gonna go over the rules, and then I'm gonna shut up just for like 10 minutes, the most. That's the most you get from me. All right. So prioritize the children's best interests, establish clear communication channels, maintain consistency in parenting styles,
Mm-hmm.
but be flexible and accommodating, seek
Mm-hmm.
professional support, set boundaries, stay positive and avoid negative talk, and practice self-care, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I put that last is because it should be first, all right? So sometimes we have to start with the results or the end game in mind.
Yeah.
All right. Now watch. Now here's the part. Here's the part where we're gonna get a couple of chest hairs and a couple of whiskers are gonna start growing. All right. Here's the rules. Number one, stay kid focused.
Okay.
Number two, regardless of the ooh, it hurts me just to say this one. Regardless of the child's age, do not discuss child support in front of them.
Nah, that's facts.
Hold up. It gets better. How about setting a business like tone? Stand on your business. Don't let it be about nothing else. Stand on your business and have a business conversation. This is a business now. We are not a family. This is a business. Okay? When you are engaging with the other parent, keep your issues to yourself or get your feelings out somewhere else.
Okay.
And never vent to your child, regardless of what age they are, regardless if they're the firstborn. And what does that mean? Never use your kids as messengers.
Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. I got another one.
I'm not done.
No, no, no. Hold on. Before you
Okay.
do that, I got one, right? And this just came to my head. Ladies, your son is not your boyfriend.
Ooh. child, things are gonna get easy.
I'm sorry. Let's put that out there, right?
Man,
Because
you
we
trying to
do.
start a fight.
Yeah,
You
Nope,
yeah, yeah.
I'm
trying to
So I'm
not.
start
saying,
I'm not.
trouble.
I'm not.
I'm trying to get
I'm
through these
not.
rules,
Time out.
and
Time
this shit
out.
about to be lit.
Time out. Cause this has been on my spirit. Cause listen, I see it all the time. I see it all the time. Your son is not your boyfriend. I don't
Yeah,
care.
he is not a replacement for
He's
your
not a
love.
replacement for a man that's supposed to be in your life that's not in your life that you can't find. You know what I'm
Told
saying?
y'all
Because you
about the
chose not to
boyfriend.
do the work on
So
yourself. He is not your boyfriend. He is
They,
not your punching bag. He is not supposed to do the things that the man is supposed to do for you. It's not. That's not what that
he
is.
is not a replacement.
He's not a replacement.
And that
And
being said,
and hold on. I'm not done,
go
fellas.
Just
Vice
more.
versa. Your daughter is not your wife.
Never.
She ain't supposed to be cooking for you and doing all this stuff and making sure that you're straight throughout the day. None of that. That's not her responsibility.
That being said, another thing that we need to recognize is your loss can very well be somebody else's gain. Your loss can also be your gain.
Okay.
So, in other words, stop worrying about where they're going. Worry more about where you at. Because if they're not with you anymore, and this is the biggest thing, the jealousy of when you see somebody doing better without you.
Right.
And you take it out on them, and then the kids end up paying for it because you're mad and you say, why couldn't you do that with me? That's a you issue. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Okay, so let's go. Let's keep going. Never vent to your child. Never use your kids as messengers. Make requests. This is important. Make requests, but never ask for favors. Why you don't ask for favors? Because a favor has to be reciprocated. I did you a favor, now you're gonna do me one. But that ain't the same favor. It doesn't matter. I did it for you, now you're gonna do it for me without you having no questions asked. That's where the problem. Stop asking for favors. Make requests. Not demands. Not demands. Make requests.
You'll
Don't
never
ask
get
for
your
favors.
demands met.
I'm trying to help people get from point A to point B and remove the fluffy shit. Right? Now here's the two things that are probably the most important, and I save them for last. Learn how to listen.
Oh no. I got one. You
You
ready
have
for this?
give
You
me
ready
more.
for this?
Give me more.
We cannot control what our family think about you.
Well,
No. Let me
that goes
finish. Let
that
me
goes
finish.
deep.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
We cannot control their opinion of you. They see what they see. If you know for a fact you're not vocalizing anything that you got going on with this person, you're not going to your family to vent, and they're just coming to you with this shit. We can't control that. We could try to nip it in the bud, but we can't control their feelings towards you.
That sucks because you're forcing me to say that one of the hardest parts of a breakup is you get to see who was really on your side and who wasn't. You get to see who's loyal to who. Because some people will stop talking to the other person, even if they came from the other person, because they see that you're right. That's number one. Number two, some
Boy,
people will stop talking to you whether you're right or wrong because their loyalty belongs to them.
That part.
mm-mm.
I don't want to go into that because we could talk a year about this. But anyway, the two most important things, and I'm going to shut up after this. But well, almost. Listen, and the other one is show restraint.
We
Show
listen and we
restraint.
don't judge.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Lying out loud.
You got to be able to put aside your anger, which is the hardest thing to do, right? And be polite and treat the other parent with respect. Avoid sarcasm, rudeness, and insults, and keep the communication brief and to the fucking point.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
can I get that on a recording so I can
I
play
got
that
it
Oh
in
yeah.
at
I got it in
That's
a
fine.
PDF. Look, I
That
got it in a PDF.
we're gonna
No,
be
no, no.
posting
I
this
need
on
the
YouTube.
audio version because she
We're
can't.
gonna be
It's got
posting
to.
this on YouTube. You good?
I don't. I want to know. I want to look at the facial expressions as I play it out loud in front of her. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to say
Oh,
anything.
oh,
We're
that's
gonna we're
cool.
gonna be posting this on YouTube. I got you.
Yeah,
Say less.
I got a lot more to share, but those are just the basics. We
We're
don't try
gonna
to get everything
hold on
away.
to it for part two.
Yeah, we're gonna hold on to that because I have a
Hold
whole
on to it
three
for
other
part two.
pages. So go
Because
go
everybody,
ahead.
people are asking for a part two.
Brother, brief that in real quick, and I'd like to hear your opinion, Teddy, on some of the things that I said. Like how does that make you feel?
I mean, it works. All of that works. All of that that you're expressing that you gave is what I'm doing currently. It works,
That's what I wanted to
right?
hear. That's what I
You know
wanted
what
to
I'm
hear.
saying? Like, there's a reason why having that conversation I had with her was necessary because, like I said, we were together for 6 years and we never spoke about why we broke up. It was never a conversation. We just went our separate ways and did our own thing, right? And
Let bygones be bygones.
right, that's all it was. But as fucking 34 years old, still holding on to shit, like it had the conversation needed to be had.
Well,
You know what I'm
there's
saying?
people that are 60 and hold on to things from 30 years.
Right, but I didn't want to be that. I wanted to break that fucking cycle. So we had that conversation. Was it an easy conversation? No, because I know in my 20s, I did some fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? I was not the person that I was today. I'm going to keep it all the way 100. And vice versa. She's not the person that she was in her 20s. We did some fucked up shit to each other in our 20s. But we also had kids within that same situation. But the one thing that my kids didn't see as much was the fighting. They heard the arguing, but they never seen the fighting, right? Because we knew how much damage that can do. But the yelling and the arguing, they heard that shit, and my son vocalized it, and this might sound fucked up, but my son was the reason why we broke up. He made that decision. He said, "I don't think you guys should be together because it's just doing more damage than good." Mind you, he was young as fuck when he made that choice, right? He was young, but he was more mature. He's more mature than most kids, so he was like, "I don't think you guys should be together because you're not. It's not helping."
You know what? That resonates with me a lot, Bobby, because my daughter did the same thing. She got up in the middle of the night one time and she goes, "What the hell are you guys doing? If you guys can't get along and you can't agree on anything, then why the hell are you together?" And the room went silent for 3 days.
Yeah,
And this
listen.
is and this was around the time where I thought it was healthy to avoid someone to get their attention. Yeah.
So, yes, all of the things that you spoke about is true. When you're in a healthy co-parenting situation, that's what that looks like. That's what that is, right? And that's not with just one party doing the work. That's both parties doing the work. That's her foundation being set in full. That's my foundation being set in full. That's the co-parenting foundation being set in full, right? Outside of the extra parties, right? The bonus mom and the bonus dad. Outside of them two,
The
we
bonus.
needed to set a foundation first for the bonus dad and the bonus mom to be able to come into that, right? Because if they're coming into a cracked foundation, and I'm over here running my mouth about my kid's mom, and she's running her mouth about me, so all they hear is the negativity, but they don't see nothing positive happening. So they create their own thought process of the person that you had kids with, and it becomes a bigger situation than what it's supposed to be. When in all actuality, you guys can all get along.
So you was a bad boy, bad boy, bad
I was
boy.
listen.
What you
I
gonna do?
I vocalize this every time. I was the devil incarnate at one point. I can openly agree to that shit. I don't have nothing to hide. You know what I'm saying? I
Listen,
was not the best person to be with.
Teddy, I'm with you. Look,
You know what I'm saying? Like
I wasn't always like this. Look,
I wasn't. Like I
I wasn't
wasn't.
trying to hear none of you was saying to me. I want to say about 7 to 8 years ago. I wasn't trying to hear none of this shit. Get out of my
Yeah.
face. You know what I'm
Like
saying? And this is fairly recent. Damn it. I'm not about to sit here and be like, I've been good all my life. No. There's been some shit that been going on, and it's been my fault.
yeah,
And I
but
gotta own it.
does it make you feel good that you at least know that you're in the right direction? Think about that.
yeah, absolutely.
I will say it feels good knowing I'm not always wrong. That's a great feeling.
I
It's
can't
you
stand
know,
you.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't still fuck up, do stupid shit. Sometimes. It happens. It happens.
According to whose standards though, and
Mine,
that's another
to
lie.
my
Right.
own,
To
to
your
my
own.
own.
Okay.
When I
So
feel
for
like I
this,
could have done better at something, or I should have remembered something, or it slipped my mind, somebody's birthday may cross my mind. It's certain little things where I know, it's not a big deal, but it's things I know I could do better. I could have better relationships with my kids or do different things with my children. Like it's stuff that I place on me, not anyone else doing it. So it's like
Right.
sometimes I still fall short in my own and in the eyes of me, but that just makes me work harder to achieve my own goals. Like I don't
Right.
set unobtainable goals for myself to where it's like, man, oh, I'm just miserable. No, that ain't gonna be it.
Well,
Okay, brother, you fucked up today. It's all right. So go take a shower, get yourself together, get at it again tomorrow.
I, I
You'll
will
be
tell you
better.
this. I will tell you this. Awareness only works if you can give yourself grace.
Boom. And with that being said, Riz, go ahead, brother.
Get them, Riz.
Well, first of all, good morning to everybody.
Good
That's a
morning, bro.
whole lot of information. Love hearing it.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm gonna take the road less traveled. My situation was a lot different. So I walked into a co-parenting situation already in a new relationship. So when my son was born, I was already with my daughter's mom. And the interesting aspect of that was the person that was in the wrong and caused all the chaos was me. So I was the only one that was a problem in all of that, which is great because it gave me a chance to adjust the strategy, knowing how I've seen multiple co-parenting situations go in the baby mama and baby daddy drama, right? One of the things I did was encourage a relationship between the current and my ex and had them communicate more because not only did it build trust in the relationship that I currently had, but it built trust in the relationship of them two as as women to be parents also together. That bonus mom now became, you know, another pillar of that foundation. And so that structure worked out wonderful. My communication with her was very limited, on purpose, because there wasn't much for me to say. I wasn't healed enough to talk about it. When I was, then I went on that apology tour and I explained to her all the things I did wrong and gave her the apology that she thought would probably never come. And ever since that point, co-parenting has been so much fun. We all get along very well. There are no problems. There are no angry discussions. There aren't any situations where we have to squabble about quite literally anything. And I know I'm taking the kumbaya approach, but we happy on this side of town because we just function as a unit. We understand that the team is a team, and
I'm telling
regardless
you,
of what we feel about each other or don't feel,
it's a great
it's
feeling over here.
it's always going to be, well, anything we do is going to affect my little man, and if any adult can say I'm going to do something to affect a child, then you know you're doing something terrible, and you're doing something terrible on purpose. And
And
so
there's
we
no
don't do terrible
hallucinogens
things.
that's being presented in any of this. There's no, what I'm saying, hallucinogens at all. Like nothing, no hypnosis, no special ceremonies, nothing that just.
Nope, it's functioning adults being functioning adults,
Oh
standing on
shit.
business, making sure that everybody feels heard, valued, respected in the manner in which humans should be treated. And I'm gonna say this shit with my whole chest. Men want to be leaders, then this is what it looks like because I set that tone. I set that
Okay.
tone because I made that happen. Because I made everybody fall in line with the vision that I saw for my son because it was my responsibility to dictate his direction and mine alone.
Don't you think it has something to also do with the mentalities of the people that you push this idea to? What if there was one
Absolutely.
person, like
That
if
that
there
could have been
was,
a small portion of it,
hmm
but there was none of that I was willing to allow anyway. And they understood who they were dealing with. They understood that I wasn't going to be the type of dude that was going to allow this weak-minded nonsense to jeopardize the future and well-being and mental health of my son. So I'm glad that they were receptive. I'm glad that their mentality was above that, approach. But I think even if I had an unhealthier co-parent, I would have still led the way I led, and that direction is achieved nonetheless because I provide like that sense of stability and structure within my own demeanor. It's about
Right.
being who you are, and you have to lead by that example. How is and I let me not sound misogynistic, right? But how is a woman supposed to follow your lead, whether it's your co-parent or it's your actual, significant other, if you're all over the place and you ain't got no structure, if you ain't got no balance within yourself, if you don't have the mindset that gives them that respect, that provides trust, that gives them the safe space to be vulnerable and express the things that they have concerns with. That it all starts from the head. And if you want to be the head, then be that. But if you're not, then don't put on a crown.
Ouch.
Facts.
I say I agree partially, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. There's nothing that in
I'll
my
land my
mind that
plane.
feels like it is. There's nothing that feels like in my mind. I don't feel like you're wrong at all. I feel like at the end of the day, what you're saying is very much so true. I just know that at the end of the day, there's a lot of men that try to do the same thing you do, and it don't make them less of a man because they can't get people who don't agree with their program to fall in line. Because you could be successful with your plan, and not everybody's gonna want to do it. Coming from a military background, I've had many a times where I've given orders where I knew what I was going to say was going to be the right way to go. People just want to go their own way, and you got to let people do what they want to do. But when you follow good leadership, it doesn't show anything more than that the fact that the leadership that you have is a great one. You're a great leader. So the fact that they can buy into your program and things are moving smoothly, that does greatly show how much of a leader you are. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to take
Oh,
away from that at
absolutely.
all.
And I think when it comes down to it, right, the mark of true leadership is being willing to understand and take suggestions from the people that are willing to follow you. And that's the problem.
Absolutely.
You can't just sit there and dictate that program and say this is the way it's going to be and everybody got to fall in line. No, you
That's
have
a
to you have to
dictator.
have yeah, you have to have humility. You have to have a certain sense of understanding that not everybody's going to see things the way you do. Not everybody's even probably going to want to follow your ideas. So maybe take yourself out of it a little bit and incorporate what they feel, what they think, what's valuable to them, what means something to them, and incorporate it within your idea. So that way, those things are feasible. Because I'm gonna tell you for sure, I had to make some concessions. I'm gonna tell you for sure, I had to make some compromises, but I was willing to do that. Again, it's about leadership, right? It's effective
Hmm.
leadership, and sometimes people want to dictate the pace and not let other people speak or not let other people show that their concerns are being met effectively, and so they resist. Resistance always comes from misunderstanding, but if you always go into it willing to understand the other person, then they feel uh, a little more seen in a way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Let me chime in on this real quick before Noble, because Noble's been waiting patiently. Look, really quickly, guys. 3 years ago from TikTok, I learned, not that I learned, but it kind of resonated that if the shoe fits, wear it, right? 2 years ago, I learned if it don't apply, let
Let
it
it
fly.
fly.
Last year, I learned that two people could be right at the same time.
Absolutely.
Listen to those things in order. If the shoe fits, wear it. That's the accountability, right? If it don't apply, let it fly. Learn how to let shit go. And the third thing is, you are not the only voice in the room. We can learn a lot from a dummy.
No. Okay. Hold on. Time out. So Lala asked the question: when one parent is not being consistent, is it correct to not let that child see that parent? Wrong.
Oh man.
Incorrect. Sorry. Let's be all the way 100. If a parent is not being consistent with that child, and you say that you can't see your child, that's you being controlling.
There's a better
Because
way. There's a better way.
there's a better way to manage that, right? If he's not being consistent, as much as I don't like the court system's the way to go, because we don't got time for that, right? We don't got time to be trying to chase somebody to be consistent in their child's life. It's not your job to chase somebody to be consistent in that child's life. He or she needs to be able to do what they need to do. They know they have a child in this world. They know they have responsibilities. They need to handle their responsibilities like it is. But if they can't, court. Like I don't really know what else to say to that. Just court. Like you know what I'm saying? Because you can't force them to do anything. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that I agree. I agree somewhat. Again, different strokes for different folks. Anything
Yeah,
that
it's
you hear
just
here, right, is generalized, right?
yeah.
Not everything that you hear here is going to work for you because we all have different circumstances. The math in our algebra, our life, is not all the same. So we have to consider our personal situation, take things with a grain of salt, and then keep it moving. Welcome in Noble One. She's been very patient and dropping some gems in the chat. So
She
how you feeling
has.
today?
Noble, welcome in. It's been a minute, Noble.
It definitely has. It's Kiwi. I just changed my name. But good morning,
Welcome.
Hey,
everybody.
hey, hey.
Good morning.
Blessings. Happy New Year. So
Happy New Year's.
I'm gonna try to make this really quick because Hermiga, I really came up here because I respect everything you said and you made my skin crawl for something you said. So we're gonna have to hit on that. But before I came in and I was listening to everybody's story. And Hermiga, when you started pointing out your rules and notes from the conversation, I thank you so much for allowing me to see that one, I've done the work, and you put a stamp on the fact that all of you pretty much put a stamp on that. The reason why I am where I am with my co-parenting with my son's father is because I did the healing. We weren't able to get anywhere until I healed from everything, and that didn't happen until I looked inside myself first to realize that there was a problem, and the only thing that could fix it was me.
Right.
So when that happened, I was able to bite my tongue, bite my emotions, and stand on business. When it comes to my son, it's a business transaction. I didn't worry about the feelings, even though I was hurt. I could understand why people spazzed out. But long story short is now at the age of 16, my son's father and I, we have the best friendship. He's married. I include his wife in, our current situation where my son is in high school. So
Mm-hmm.
we allowed my son to go live with his dad for his high school years. That took a lot of courage, a lot of pain for me, but it's the child's best interest for him to be with his father. So in that I did have to be the one who was the leader in this situation. Because my son's father at a certain point in his life was not the leader that he had been able to grow into now. But the co-parenting was not 50-50. It was 150. It was, I put in 100 sometimes. I feel like it was 100 based on where he was at in his life. He was given what he could. And when it comes to transparency, we had to understand that if you have an effective communication with the co-parent and they're telling you I don't have any money, you just have to take it and understand if he's not good, then I'm not good, and my son's not good. So if he didn't have it, guess what? Okay, you can't give diapers. I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure my son has diapers. Or maybe it's one time where I don't have it. Guess what? His father was like, hey, I got you. So it's 100, whether or not it's the amount that you can give or if it's just showing up that day and that's all he could do was show up to get his son. Like it's just like a relationship. A relationship is 100. If their 100 is 5% and that's all they have for that day, they gave their 100%. And that's what co-parenting is. It's like a relationship. And it's definitely based off of healing. So thank you guys for just having this platform. Thank you guys for just being completely honest, 100% transparent because it does help. I've been on a lot of you guys' Saturday lives and it has helped me put things into perspective.
Thank you.
Now, Hermiga, I say that to say
Hey,
I have agreed with you all up until I wanted you to elaborate a little bit more. You had stated that um, when you see that the other person is doing better without you, that's a you issue. I don't know if it was the verbiage that twiddled my feathers a little bit, but I just needed you to elaborate in regards to that because maybe I misunderstood or maybe I have a different perspective in what you were meaning by that.
okay. I will start by saying that not all triggers are negative.
Right. Right.
Some another word for trigger, and this is where people get a little bit twisted. Another word for trigger is motivation.
Yes.
A trigger motivates you to react,
Hmm.
right? But that trigger could be your downfall, or that trigger could be your elevation, depending on your perspective and your perception,
Right.
right? So the first thing we do when we see somebody else doing better, and when they're not with us, we start asking ourselves, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? Am I flawed? We start blaming ourselves, right? But then if you and your tone of voice says a lot. I love your tone of voice, by the way. That helps me believe that you have done the work. That helps me believe that you put your best foot forward. All I'm saying is Sometimes we see people doing better with someone else, and it triggers us down a rabbit hole of negativity. We start attacking ourselves, right? We start putting ourselves, and it's not necessarily our fault, but chances are that if you don't want better for the parent of your child, then you don't want better for your child.
Right.
Because that's the point. That's the one that's supposed to be co-parenting for the kid. So why not cheer them on? If you're not with this person, it's better to cheer them on because the one that's going to benefit is your kid.
True.
So that's what I meant by that.
Okay. 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 I'm glad I was able to get that because I was like, well, wait a minute. He can't keep going without, because the first thing that came to mind for me was, you're right. At a point in time, I would look up and I would say like, oh my God, why couldn't he do that when I was with him? Or why couldn't you do this or that, right? But after the healing point where it was, I think Teddy, you had said that there was a conversation need to have that wasn't had until you were 34. For me, that conversation was never had in my situation. I
Right.
never I never felt the need to have a conversation in regards to why we didn't work out because his actions showed me why we did it. And that's all the conversation I needed to have. And again, with me doing my own work, I was able to stand 10 toes down on this is the situation. I've grown from it. I've learned from it. And then, Hormiga, what you just said, it's like, I appreciate that because, again, it shows how much I've grown because I looked at it as no, not necessarily why couldn't he do that with me? The fact that I was able to lead him in a direction to be able to be better for his wife,
Right.
right? So I was able to teach him some things and instill in him some things that he may not have never gotten to or been able to grow to where we could have a better co-parenting relationship.
I love that.
And even now, like, I've always been like, if I'm not good and you're not good, what good are we to our child? And I
Now,
have
There,
now
been
we're cooking.
understand
Now
there,
we're
that,
there
cooking.
we go.
right? And
Now we're
so
cooking.
I've always navigated off of that, and even with my I know I mentioned in the comments like that's my son's co-parenting situation with my daughter's father. Before he passed away, he had to tell me like I appreciate you. You're the only mother of my child that has ever get me to see things in this manner. Like I've never been able to co-parent in this manner. And I have to tell him, listen, I've been there, done that. And I'm not trying to go back and forth and I'm not trying to belittle and I'm not trying to it's not about that. It's about being a family. And that means whoever we allow into our space around our children, we all are a family. We all are going to be at birthday parties. We're
Right.
all going to have to be a part of our child's life. So why
Yes.
make it harder than what life has already made it for us? Like we have to accept our, faults and downfalls as children. We were children doing adult things, and this is what ended us here. So,
Absolutely.
I just appreciate this platform. And I just want to say thank you guys for always being open to, you know, my, what do you call it, rebellion sometimes of not wanting to get it and then getting it and just listening to understand and just not to respond. So I appreciate you guys and thank you.
That was beautiful. Let me just say one thing for everybody. Listen to what she just said and how she said it. She didn't say it. She didn't say it rushing. She did it in the right tone of voice, right? She took command, even though she didn't have to be louder. Being louder doesn't give you control or command. Being louder is loss of control. That's number one. Now here's where we all get it wrong. You ready for this? We need to stop looking for the answers in the results. We need to stop looking for the answer in the result. The answer is not in the result. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Keep looking for answers in things that are already done. Sometimes you have to learn how to say, it is what it is.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, as good as that sounds, and I don't disagree with you, right? There's some people that do need that closure, right?
Correct.
So, in my situation, I was good, right? I'm in a healthy relationship. I'm with a beautiful woman, love her to death. We are happy. My kids are good when they're here. But for some reason, it just kept on popping up in conversation, right? The resentment kept on popping up in the conversation. It wasn't the actual wording of what she said, but how she said it, You get what
Man, I
I'm
need a
saying?
drink.
Like the anger
Well,
and all that stuff was still there. So she was still holding on to the shit, even though she didn't vocalize that she was still holding on to it. So it needed to happen. So once it happened, none of that resentment is there anymore. It's gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gone. Like, it's I don't have any issues with the conversations that we have now.
But Teddy, what I'm saying is real simple. What I'm saying is, if you're not ready for the answer to the why, then don't ask the question.
That, see, that's a better way to saying it. That's a better way of saying it, because
For
you
you.
trying to trigger me, damn it. Like, cause what the fuck?
And
Don't
sometimes
play with
that
me.
sometimes the person themselves don't even know why. Truly.
Right.
Exactly. You
Exactly.
see? That's what I mean.
That's true. That's true.
But is the why always important?
Not
No.
necessarily, no.
No.
Definitely not. But I think
Thank
also,
you.
a lot of times we make the mistake of trying to understand the other person so much, um, and and I say we to soften the blow when we don't fully understand ourselves yet. It's always a recipe for disaster if you don't understand who you are. Because how could you hope to understand another human being in the world if you don't know you?
Now you trying to trigger me, bro.
not just that, but when you have to try and take lead of somebody, you have to be able to understand them to a certain degree. So it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to say, I got to understand you, but I can't understand too much about you, especially if I want to lead the situation in the right direction. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, but it's a this
No,
shit is
absolutely.
annoying because
I
I'm gonna keep it a
agree.
buck with you. I got a lot of respect for
Listen, I'm gonna tell
we're
you
not
something.
planning on birthday parties together. I'm not doing it. I'm
I'm, I'm,
sorry, I
I'm,
just can't.
I'm gonna tell you something. If you
I get
miss
it.
this,
We got
if you
five
miss
minutes, guys. Just by the way,
real
please.
quick, if you missed yesterday's live, right? We were talking about emotional regulation.
Hmm.
We need to really understand how important emotions play a role in our decisions, where we're at, where we're not, why things happen. If you can control your emotions, 75% of your bullshit is gone.
Facts.
Yep. And guess what that does? That gives you the ability and control to check your own ego.
Yes, sir.
And
Ooh.
if you can't control your own ego, then you've got some healing to do.
Well, guess what? Now is the time that we got about 4 minutes left, and I believe Teddy will agree with me that we are going to, on that note, is we are going to get final thoughts. We're going to close this
Go
up.
for it.
Let us know what you got out of this, something you want to share. Try to keep it short and sweet and to the punch. You know what I'm saying? That way, the ADD and the HDAD actually rocks with you.
I can't stand you.
Oh my god. Yep. Let's get the fuck out of here, guys. Come on, wrap
Let's
this
start.
shit.
Let's start from the top. Let's start from the top. Noble,
Noble, go
please.
for it.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Say that again.
Oh,
Closing
we
closing
are closing
statements.
up.
Closing statements.
Oh, I just want to say thank you to you guys for your insight, your experience, your wisdom. Thank you to the panelists for sharing your stories because it helps. Everybody has a testimony, and you never know who's going through what you're going through. Stay to course. Work on your healing first because I'm telling you, it started with healing for me to be able to get here. Like I told Rail in the comments, I'm 16 years in this. And it wasn't until about 3 years ago that we were able to see eye to eye in how we were going to continue to navigate as healthy co-parents. So stay the course, work on yourself first, understand that you may not always get the answers that you want, but remember the reason why, and that's for your child.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Riz, hit him.
Go for it, Riz.
All I can say is these conversations are super beneficial. Welcome back to Coach E. Uh, it's good to
Appreciate you.
have you back. Shout out to everybody on the panel, Sweet Tea, Rel, Ormiga, Noble, everybody in the comments. We appreciate you immensely. If you haven't yet, make sure you jump into our bios, hit the Mind Your Mental link, and get with us because we are doing big things for 2025. We got books coming out, we've got courses and workshops and journals, and the resources are almost endless at this point.
Absolutely.
Keep being amazing humans. Do the work on you because you absolutely deserve good things and you deserve the best version of yourself, but that's completely 100% up to you. And I'll land my
Absolutely.
plane.
All right.
Go ahead, babe.
Per usual, amazing live. I'm glad that this didn't turn into a debate live. I know a lot of people jumped in here because they saw the topic and they were ready to just fly off the handle. But this is probably one of the most positive conversations about co-parenting that it could probably happen on this platform. A lot of people tend to become magnets towards the debate lives, and seeing a topic like that from the For You page would draw anyone in and saying, "Oh, here's where I'm going to pick a fight." Nope, that's not what we're doing here. That's what we're not about
Beginning
to do.
strong.
That's what we're not about to do. Like I said, I'm glad a lot of people read the room and stayed, even though comments were quick to come out. But if they actually read the room and stayed for a few minutes, they would understand where we were going with this conversation. So, it's January. Have you started your vision board yet? Do you know what your 2025 is going to look like? Don't make mental health your January project and then forget about it for the rest of the year. Like the people that go to the gym the first week of January and then pay for a membership that they don't use for the rest of the year.
Oop, oop.
Um, I'm just saying that out loud. Um, we're here for it. Join the Discord. Let's make this a 7-day a week working mentality to come out on top by the end of 2025.
Thanks, babe. Awesome, awesome. Rel?
All right, guys. So check this out, right? I just want to let y'all know y'all are listening to some of the baddest from the land. You hear me? When I say baddest, I ain't talking about. Well, I ain't gonna get into what they got going on with their criminal records because ain't none of y'all business. But either way it go, we listening to some very, very impactful people who are saying things that can put you in a track of mind to get you set up for success. Um, you can tell by the energy in the room. Come on now. It ain't hard to see. It ain't hard to feel. Just follow your gut. Do the right thing. I'm going to end myself. You know my slogan. I zip it up the same way every time, bro. Look, protect your energy at all costs. Because if you don't, ain't nobody else going to.
Mm.
Facts. Facts.
All
Love,
right.
love that.
Well,
All of that.
let's just not leave it up to the energy vampires as to how much energy we do or we don't have, right?
Mm,
But don't blame the energy vampires if you're not checking your mileage or if you're not checking your gas tank.
very much so.
So, with that being said, co-parenting is difficult because it's not something that you ever envisioned. Sometimes it comes out of nowhere. Sometimes you see the signs and you don't want to believe it. You don't want to act accordingly. You don't want to do anything to agitate it. But by not doing anything, you could be doing the wrong thing because there's something that needs to be done and there's something that needs to be expressed and said.
Mm-hmm.
When people say you have to start all over, that's bullshit. Because how could you start all over if you're starting now with discernment, wisdom, and experience? That's not starting all over. That's reigniting something with more power, with more knowledge, with more skills. It's the same thing when, let's just say you had an accident and when they say you have to relearn how to walk again. How do you want to relearn something when you already did it?
Mm,
So you got to get back to where you were or go back to the fork in the road where you make the mistake and fix it, adjust it. And don't think that that fix that you're going to do is going to be the fix for life. It's not. We have to continuously monitor and make adjustments in our life in order for our life to stay in balance because balance doesn't stay balanced without you keeping it in balance. Does that make sense?
makes perfect sense, actually.
Have a great day, everyone. I love you whether you love me back or not. You don't have a choice of my love. You could only have a choice of whether you receive it, fight it, or 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 fight it. But I'm gonna keep loving you whether you like it or not.
Yes, 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 yes.
So have a great weekend. Thank you for coming back, Teddy. We missed you. It wasn't like I wasn't talking to you behind closed doors. Don't tell nobody that. But yes, this was an excellent live. Not
Yes.
because I was in it, but because of the other people that were here that I was learning from. Noble, I'm so proud of
Hey,
you.
Fochat.
I am so proud of you, Noble. I'm proud of LT that she was up there last night as a panelist.
I
You
seen
know,
that.
we are showing you real life testimony of what can happen. We're not trying to take credit for it. We are sharing our experiences so you could come back and share those things right back with us and we could all grow together.
I don't think people realize. So we're going on 4 years in April, right? We're going on
Hmm.
4 years in April. We've had multiple testimonies, right? We don't even have to express testimonies because they always come back and they express it themselves. It's just what it is. Noble's been here since fucking how
Forever.
long now?
Forever.
We forever. Like you know what I'm saying? Like she's one of the day ones, the OGs as we call it, right? There's a few of them that come back. They'll tell you the testimonies. They'll speak on, you know, the work that we've done here for them. That kind of opened up the avenue for them to really focus on themselves, right? And like I said, we don't take the credit. We just give the information. That's it. That's all.
Well, I'm giving y'all the credit, whether you take it or not, because it's very, it's a blessing to be able to get this information for free.
Yeah.
And we have to, and it comes back to you guys tenfold because you guys are glowing, y'all healthy, y'all keep coming back. So we love y'all. Keep doing your thing, doing your thing.
We appreciate you. But now, I'm really proud of everybody, right? I'm proud of everybody focusing on themselves, doing the work, and trying to be the better version of themselves because it's not an easy task. It's not easy. Nothing about it is easy. If you're gonna be uncomfortable to grow, that's not easy. If you're gonna have to reflect on the things that you've done in your past, so you can see the mistakes that you made, that's not easy. To have the conversation with the person that you used to love is not easy. None of that is easy, okay? Co-parenting is not easy. Being the better version of yourself is not easy. Doing the work is not easy. None of it is, but it is fulfilling.
And I will say that sometimes we come across as saying, we're not saying that it's easy, but sometimes it come across that way. I'll be the first one to tell you it does get easier.
Appreciate you,
It,
Dory.
it does it does roll off your tongue easier
It
because
becomes autonomous.
when you've done the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
What it looks like, you're
And you know
more
that.
comfortable in your skin. You're able to express yourself, right? You're in charge of your emotions. So it does get easier and it does sound easy, but the road here was no joke. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, it wasn't. None of it. Like, listen. Okay, let's keep it all the way 100. Right? I'm not gonna go too quick with it, but understand this here, this how it looks now. Listen, it wasn't like that 4 years ago. I promise you that.
Don't remind me.
It wasn't. There was no mods. There was no structure. There was nothing. It's just chaos. Okay, chaos, fucking chaos. And
We
I
was
and
arguing,
for
crazy arguments.
for wild. Like, and it
No,
wasn't
it
on
was
this page. It was
wild,
on another
wild. It was
page.
wild.
It was wild, right? It was fucking chaos. But it still served the purpose because people were still learning. People were still being educated. People were still taking things out of it. It's just more structured now, right? Because we have mods that care. We have panelists that come here and they want to learn. They want to be the better version of themselves, and they're not here to really fuck around with their life. You get what I'm saying? They're here to actually learn and be the better version of themselves. And when we created the Discord, it made it 10 times better because now people have a place to go to live the human experience of getting support. Like, you know what I'm saying? People ask, where can I get the support? When can I get the support? Where can I get this? Where can I have these conversations? In our Discord. You'll never see anything like it at the current moment because there's nothing like it. And I'm gonna stand 10 toes down on that. There's nothing like the Discord that we have because you have 6 coaches with 6 different disciplines, and then you have a community of people that are working on themselves to be the better version of themselves. Not only that, but we banter and joke around as well. Like it's all of it. We have all of it. It's in there, right? And it's not just you know serious all the time. We joke around. We have fun. You know what I'm saying? We do these things, and it's created friendships People that you never thought would be friends are friends. They're calling themselves family. They're calling themselves sis, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they've experienced this together. They went through through the steps together. They went through the path together. They went through the roads together. They held each other accountable. They held each other down when they were falling short. This is what this is. When you come here, you can't blame the other person. You can only blame yourself when you come here.
Wait,
We don't blame the other person. We don't think about the other person. We think about ourselves when we're here.
hold up. Let me say this word 3 times. Ready? Breathe, everybody. Breathe. Accountability, accountability, accountability.
Somebody just broke out in rash and hives and passed out on the floor. You just fucked somebody up, nigga. Damn, man. We are
Absolutely.
not responsible. We're not responsible for that. Y'all gonna have to go to the doctor, get good insurance for that. That is not his fault. He just said the word that most people are allergic to 3 times.
For people that think that my platform is not faith based, y'all can go eat something. Cause everything about what we do is not without grace. It's not without His glory. It's not without His praise. I
Yeah.
don't do anything without having a conversation with Him.
And don't put ketchup on it.
No. I mean, rice and ketchup sometimes.
No,
But that's
eat
beside.
it straight up. Eat
Child,
it
good
straight up.
point,
Don't put
boy.
ketchup on it.
You know what I'm saying? Everything that we do is faith based. It's a faith based platform. We do not play around with our spirituality. We do not play about religion over here, right? If you're not religious, cool. Come in for the information. But if you are religious, just know that everything here is based off conversations I have with Him. I don't do nothing without Him telling me to do it. Because I've ran into too many walls, and I'm tired of running into walls. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like running
We're
into
gonna have that
walls.
conversation again.
No, we're not. We're not. But
Hey,
I,
special shout out to Charmin. We gonna get this. We gonna get the sponsorship. There's a lot of shit that
it's
need to
gonna
be cleaned
happen.
up.
Invest in Charmin. Lay off the baby oil investment and invest in Charmin.
Absolutely. So there is one thing I do want to talk about, right? Because me and Hormiga had spoke about changing the time frame for the platform. Okay. So I want to officially say it here. We are gonna be switching times. We're gonna be going from 10 to 12 versus 9 to 12, and we're not doing it every Saturday. It gives it. I don't think people understand how tiring it is to do 3 hours every single Saturday. It is draining sometimes. It is consuming to bring all of this here and do it every Saturday. So we're gonna do every other Saturday. We're still gonna bring that same energy that we bring, right? But it's gonna be every other Saturday. It gives us time for me, and also gives me time to edit and put some stuff out within the live. So yeah,
But somebody else from the organization should be on that skip week. We have other coaches that are gonna be coming on to keep the mental health thing going. It just won't
absolutely.
be in this structure every Saturday.
Yeah. So we definitely have to. We're gonna open that slot for everybody that's willing or wanting to take the slot for the every other Saturday. That's it's open, right? So
So
that's the
I'll give
reason why
y'all
we
that
took
here.
that
I will
sabbatical.
take one Saturday of the
Okay.
month.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll take one Saturday.
You good?
Gotcha.
I'm
And
afraid
I
of
will
Saturdays,
follow
bro.
up. I will follow up with those on the calendar within the Discord to let y'all know who is going live on that Saturday.
Absolutely.
Again, we'll still be here 2 Saturdays a month,
Hmm.
but this is the reason why we need a whole a whole month sabbatical, because doing every Saturday for 11 months out of the year is a lot. And
Yeah, it
especially
is.
with all the coaching and stuff that's going to be coming up and the workshops and everything else that we're trying to incorporate.
I need the
These
time.
coaches are human. They need time to get that done.
Yeah.
And having those 3 hours free up on a Saturday to get that done, it's a lot.
Think about it like this. We do this every Saturday from 9 to 12, rain or shine. I haven't missed one in how long, Teddy?
I can't remember the last time, unless we both made the agreement of being off.
So imagine the dedication that it takes and the loyalty that it takes to come here, whether we have one person in the chat or we have 100, and sometimes we even have 200 people in the chat.
We've
It,
had
it,
three.
it doesn't matter. So for the sake of that argument, I just want to ask everybody a favor. That means I got to repay this. Watch this.
Oh boy.
We have 47.4K. There's 2,000. What is it? 2,600 left. If everybody taps 100 times, can we get to 50K? Can everybody just power tap while Teddy closes us up?
I actually
Yeah,
need
that sounds
another.
good.
I actually need another favor for you guys.
Two favors.
Man,
Yes,
you asking favors and shit? Oh
yes.
man.
So if you guys haven't subscribed to the YouTube page, okay. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube page,
It's free.
it's free. Go on my link tree. I have it. I have it categorized for all my social links. So follow me on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on both of my YouTube page because I have my individual coaching page and then I have the monumental page. So follow me on both of those pages. You'll see the content there. The monumental page, we post the audio of the live because of the aesthetics, right? So we just post the audio on my page. I don't care about the aesthetics. I post the whole thing. So you know what I'm saying. So I'll post. So if you want the visual, we'll have the visual. If you want the audio, we'll have the audio. So make sure you guys follow that. So that way, if you did miss the beginning of the live, and you came here to judge and it didn't work out for you, you can go back and watch it and listen to it. So
I
that
can't
way,
believe you said that, bro. I can't believe you said that.
so that way you
Yeah,
can
you can
go
call
and
their asses out too. Fuck it. Yeah, we know you
it is
came
what it
here to
is.
thought some bullshit was going on, but guess what?
Like
You
we're
keep
here
gonna
to
learn today.
exactly.
Yeah,
Like
the best comment of the day. I always give credit to the best comment of the day. The best comment of the day is "fuck you" in a loving way.
no, the best comment of the day was thank you, Sweet Tea, for explaining what you explained because I came here to judge.
Oh wow.
Nah, the best comment,
Excuse
the
me.
best comment was when me and you said "hun" to, where she said she cremated two of her baby daddies. She said, "Wait, what?
What?
Huh? Huh? Wait,
Wait,
what
but
the
wait. Did that happen after they passed away or while they were still living?
hell?"
Yeah, it's
That's why we
just
both said "huh" in the comments, and I could see his face because his face is the same as mine. I said, "Huh? Ain't no way." Like,
I ain't
yeah,
got a
I'm still
poker
here. They
face.
both gone.
I ain't got
Like,
a poker
wait,
face. My face was
oh,
all the way through.
all
All the way
through.
through. And if you haven't joined the Discord, guys, it's free.
Yeah.
That's the best part about the Discord. It's free. Like
Fifty
it like
thousand, 50,000.
it is free.
Send me that link.
I
Send me
sent
that
it to you
link,
already.
Teddy.
Check your text.
I know it ain't in there.
Yes, it is. I sent it to you.
You know
Scroll
why
up.
they say the best things in life are free? Is because there's expectations when you pay for it.
Boom.
Moment of honesty, really quick. So as long as I've been, no judging, okay, no judging. As long as
We
I've
listen and
been
we
here,
don't
listen,
judge.
I have I have not joined the Discord because I was not in the space of being ready to be held accountable for my growth, if that makes sense.
It
It
makes
makes
sense.
more. It makes
So
more than sense.
It makes sense.
but I'm in that space where I'm able to accept the fact that that's where I was at and I'm no
The
longer
link
there.
expired.
So I
Okay, I
actually,
got you. I'll
yeah,
send it
I
to
was
you.
about to say that the link did expire because I did try, but I'm like, I downloaded it because I know I was like, just download the Discord, and we talked Teddy a couple times. I'm just like, I wanted to, but I was like, I'm not ready to be held accountable.
No, and I
I'm still
respect
trying
that.
to. I was still in that point trying to get to where I can hold myself accountable. So to have other people holding me accountable was just like, But now I'm like, I'm all in. So that's why I was like, hey, I did try to go look for it, but it's expired.
Yeah,
The,
I'll send you the
the,
link. That's not a problem.
the beauty in what you said, really quickly, right? Human beings don't like to be corrected. They don't like to be obligated, and they don't like to be forced to say sorry. So if you don't want to be forced to do it on your own.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna keep it 100 with everybody. You're gonna be held accountable in 6 different disciplines, and if you're not ready for that, I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be a lot. But
Right.
it's going to be one of the best experiences for you because
It
not
is.
only is it just discipline when it comes to your self confidence, it's not just discipline when it comes to your discipline. It's nutrition, it's relationships and healing, it's awareness, it's transition, it's holistic healing. It's a lot, but
Accountability with love.
everyone in the Discord will tell you that it's probably one of the best experiences that they have.
And I
It's
want to give
that
a. I gotta
it's
give a quick
that
shout out
check on
too.
you text that you get from everybody. on a daily basis.
Let you disappear. Let you disappear for a couple of days. See if ain't nobody gonna try to reach out to you.
Yeah.
If you're a
Gosh.
consistent person in the Discord and you're constantly good morning and checking in and engaging in a conversation, and then we don't see you for a couple of days, somebody gonna reach out to you. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
Please
happen. We
make
got
sure also when you're joining the Discord that you agree to the guidelines because you don't get access to the rest of the Discord
without
until
knowing
you
either.
press that green check mark button underneath the guidelines.
Starbucks therapy, but I'm listening. No,
But yes, thank you
absolutely,
guys. Thank you.
absolutely. You're welcome. So I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that. In a world full of negativity, make sure y'all choose love and love on purpose. Keep life simple. Love is the glue. Respect is the flavor. You dig, you dig, you dig. Make sure y'all live within your value energy. And I pity the fool who doesn't mind their mental. Peace.